I got sucked into Jumanji. I had fun with Hobbs and Shaw. I was the Scorpion King and the Tooth Fairy, and in the all-time classic Walking Tall. Well, you all love Black Adam, never forget your Jungle Cruise. I was in Hercules and the Fast series. I'm pretty sure I was in G.I. Joe too.
Me and my best friend Ryan Reynolds helped Moana with their boat. I was the Hasselhoff in Baywatch, but I didn't really get the joke. Turns out I'm a jabroni and my career's in a free fall. Nothing I do is working. I wonder where it all went wrong. The Rock, the Rock, the Rock is in a hard place. The Rock, a demolition man. The Rock, the Rock, the Rock is in a hard place. The Rock, the Rock, Dwayne Johnson has a sad face. So we made this change here on podcast. Talking Dwayne Johnson for the summer weeks. We're dropping the album and raising the eyebrows. Temporary low-bearing
Oh, what a interesting start.
I guess we'll just start there. We'll start with me going,
Yeah.
Load-bearing beams, the Summer of Rock. Welcome. Yeah. Well,
Let's move on. What if we just go to the next movie?
I'm Matt Stokes.
And I'm Lacey Roth.
This is Load-Bearing Beams, a movie podcast where we normally cover a movie that we are nostalgic about, except it's the summer. We do something different. It's the Summer of Rock, the summer of Dwayne Johnson's films.
People like a theme. We're doing a theme. Themes are easier for us in the summertime. People like them.
And let me ask you this, Lacey.
Okay.
You said that you look forward to getting to know The Rock better as the summer goes along. You liked last summer really getting to dig in on Steven Spielberg.
He had some juicy brains. No. He had some shit going on in his life that I found interesting. I related to him. Yeah. And the more I learned about him, the more the movies were informed, and the more I felt like I knew what the fuck I was talking about, which is a nice change for me.
And obviously, Dwayne Johnson, an actor, not a director, but he does have a lot of control over his movies, less so in the portion of the career we're talking about now. But we're really, I don't know, trying to take a different approach. Do you feel like you're getting to know the man better?
I
now?
do, and I like that we're following his wrestling career and his personal life as the history segment alongside the movies. That it helps me check in. It helps me decide how I'm feeling about The Rock. And so far, I still really like him.
Yeah, and the main part of his wrestling career is done, although he will have more. He'll always be tied to it, and he will have some pretty big runs coming up. But we are now at the point where, so we jumped ahead 3 years. We did The Rundown, which was a disappointment at the box office, but a delightful movie that we both really loved. And was, presents this sort of path not taken, both because that movie didn't succeed and just the world had moved on from having an appetite for movies like those, adventure movies, classic throwback action movies.
It doesn't sound like he wouldn't have taken it. Just sounds like path not provided.
That's
not open.
That's what I mean. And we jump ahead 7 years, and in the history segment,
I did not know we jumped 7.
We'll be covering everything that happened there, but it is really jarring now to go to Tooth Fairy, not the Tooth Fairy, Tooth Fairy.
Thank you. The Tooth Fairy is a scary movie, I found out.
I think the third or fourth family movie he did to varying degrees of financial success, the only thing he was able to succeed at in terms of.
So what did we skip over,
careers.
Matt? We skipped over like all the bombs?
We skipped over Walking Tall, Be Cool, Southland Tales, Gridiron Gang, The Game Plan.
But I mean, what is your strategy, I guess? I guess I know what we skipped over, but we don't want to do movies where he's not the lead, because I think we don't get enough to talk about with him specifically. So I understand Be Cool, I understand Get Smart.
Right.
But
what's going to make good episodes?
Yeah.
And one, a variety and things that represent different areas of his career.
And we're steel manning him, right? We're putting out the hits. We're not just trying to talk shit about the known bombs.
And trying to tell this story that I think his career struggled to get off the ground until about 2011, when he got into the Fast and Furious franchise. And we will be covering Fast 5 next. He's not the lead of that movie, but he's a very important part of that movie.
Sure.
And that sort of is like, okay, this is the kind of movie I need to make. And the world really seems to like it for a while.
Oh, good.
And so our second...
Well, he's going to learn an important lesson. People like variety. We're not stupid. Most of us. Huh?
All of this is to say,
There's no formula. You can't biohack this, my man.
no, you can't.
You can't.
You gotta dream big. You gotta. How many people
You
watching or
gotta,
listening to this?
what if?
How many people who are listening to this or watching this have seen this movie?
Diehard fans, I guess, but like, I don't know who this is for. Like kids who want to see this don't know who you are as a wrestler, probably.
Dumb little kids. No, kids know. Kids know the.
But he was on his way. He was tapering.
You're right. He was.
They weren't even alive. So
I guess
it's
just
for the parents.
I think that like the image of him in a tutu, like that probably made it $100 million by itself.
This is why we should kill ourselves.
It's a good question. I think
Why should we kill?
Why are we alive? Why do we even keep going? Why should we?
Why?
No, I hadn't thought about that. Like, yeah, who is The Rock to anybody in 2010 the target audience? Because this movie is a movie for little children.
It is, and it's like, oh, big guy, spectacle. He's so big compared to these little kids, but like, there's none of that in this. In fact, they put him with a caseworker who is 6'9". They put him with other hockey players who are huge. Like, if this is a movie about big hard rock with soft little kids, that's interesting. They took that away. He's not that. He's a lovable little sweetie the whole time, except for the random people who he's very angry with all the time.
There's like things in this movie that happen where you're like, oh, I can see the sort of like C+ B- family movie where if they made the movie about that, you're like, okay, yeah, I could see how that could work. And instead, look, I think this is the worst movie we've ever covered. I think this movie is reprehensible. It is a mess. It is poorly made. Nobody does anything good. But it is directed. It looks like a commercial. It looks like shit. And the script is one of the just worst, like gobbledygook, just cobbled together. The most like bullshit, like AI, like you would think ChatGPT wrote this movie. When I watched it again, and it's like trying to track the message of the movie of you gotta dream big, and then to see the ways that manifests itself in the movie, how like odious I think it really is in the movie, which is like The Rock, he's playing in the minor leagues. Why? He stopped wanting to be in the major leagues. No, he got over his shoulder injury. He was just like, I don't know. I never felt like trying to go back up to the big leagues.
He's not a guy that can fail and not be really hard on himself. That's what I took from it. That he tried, and if that first try isn't it, then he shouldn't have to try.
Well, that's nice that you took that away from the movie, because I don't think it's in there like in any coherent way.
I mean, that's what his caseworker, Tooth Fairy Godmother, says to him, is like, you know better than anyone. You have to try more than once.
That is what they say out loud.
Oh, they do say it right out loud.
Like, what about his character actually makes it seem like this is true?
I don't even know who he is. He's all over. This is not a person that makes sense. You can't be this angry and then this nice unless all of it's fake. Let's just
okay, yeah, we just have to go through it. Yeah, because I don't know how many people will have watched the movie. You should watch this movie. This movie is insane. Like, we're gonna fail. We're gonna fail at explaining how insane this movie is.
We watched it separately because of our schedule, and I couldn't stop texting Mac. I was physically unable to like watch several minutes at a time without going, my body. Okay.
And then you came in while I was watching it, and you're like, how are you only 33 minutes in? And I'm like, I can't watch it.
You just kept stopping.
I'm like not able to keep going. I keep having to stop. I was also following the New York election. I was very excited about that. But like something about this movie prevents me from watching it. Like 404 message on the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not for me.
Let's talk briefly about the history. History of Tooth Fairy, the film. Just call it Tooth Fairy. It's cleaner. So at first I thought, well, we'll just catch up with The Rock and his career since last we checked in with him with the rundown, and it's been a rocky 7 years. But just for the hell of it, I thought I'd do, like on our Santa Claus episode, I ended up doing like a whole presentation on the history of Santa Claus. So I just looked up Tooth Fairy. Is there anything there? And there's some shit.
There's some shit.
All right. So in many cultures around the world, no fairy. Instead, a rat or little mouse.
Okay.
Who will exchange a tooth for a small payment or gift. Known as either El Raton Perez or El Raton de la Dientes or the Tooth Mouse. This figure will often be used by toothpaste companies in marketing in Latin America.
If you don't want the mouse to come, brush your teeth. I don't want to step on whatever you're about to teach me, but it does make sense to put celebration around this because it's very scary. It's a human fear of decaying. And the fact that we lose a whole set of teeth and then grow new ones is fucking crazy. And that's just because we'd look real nuts with giant big teeth in our mouth our whole baby life, and then real weird with giant little teeth our whole mouth our adult life. So like, yay, a celebration. Look, no, it's good you lost your tooth now. Some money, don't cry, don't think about your morbidity, little child. Yay.
Absolutely. And I guess I never had this fear as a kid. But I remember my child too, your biological child, my stepchild, who is my real child. When they were little, I remember them talking to my brother and then just talking as like a precocious, cute little baby person. Like, I'm afraid my teeth are going to fall out. And Elliot said, Elliot's like, you don't need to be afraid. And then I remember saying like, no, your teeth are never going to fall out. And then Elliot was like, Matt, that's not true. And I was like, oh, right. No, your teeth do fall out. And that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and it's something to be like, coaxing them because the process is not usually clean. It's a dangler for a while.
Yes.
And then you've got assholes who are like, I'm going to just I'm just going to come yank it out. Or let's tie it with a string, attach it to a doorknob, and close the door. Well, who's fucking thinking of this shit?
Do you think that has ever actually been done?
Yes, I've seen it. Yes. It's stupid assholes who like don't know how to deal with like handling a big feeling from a kid. They're like, I'm going to teach you how to be a man, Susan. Let's tie this shit. Anyway, and you need something afterwards. Like, and now the money.
Love, you're a very trustworthy person. I trust you with my heart and soul and life. However, I wonder if this is one of those things where if we hooked you up to a machine that can somehow scan your memories, we'd find that you have actually never seen this in your life.
My cousin Robbie did it.
No, this is like when people insist that in Castaway there's a scene where he hangs himself, but he doesn't or tries to hang himself. He just describes it very vividly. Let's weigh in, listeners and viewers. Have you ever seen this actually happen? Doorknob tied to string,
You're
tied to tooth.
You're going to believe them, but not
my lion wife.
Okay. Wow.
You know what's a gross word that I read is when they call it not a baby tooth, but a milk tooth.
Oh, yeah. God. No. Milk teeth are a type of teeth that get rotted from letting milk sit on them. They turn a color and they rot out. That's a milk tooth.
Presumably that happens to a baby tooth, though.
Yeah, it does.
Gross.
Okay, but that's a certain kind of rot, and that's gross in a different way. I'm just guessing.
Would you say I'm right?
I wouldn't say it, no. I'm sick of being judged.
In 1894, there was a tale written for the 8-year-old King of Spain, Alfonso XIII, and he had just lost a tooth. And so they commissioned a storybook to be written for imagine this young King Joffrey.
I shall need a book.
Yeah. And
Ouch.
This took off. But it didn't originate here. It was like a folk belief in Europe for a lot, in Italy, in France, in Wallonia, in Catalonia. But elsewhere in the world, sadly, there is no mouse. In Korea, for example, children will often throw their teeth onto the roof of their house. Whereupon,
imagine the gutters.
They hope it will be taken by the magpie, the national bird of Korea, and bring them good fortune.
I thought it was a flying poop. It's not.
A flying poop, you say?
A magpie.
Like a cow pie,
yeah, I think
but from a mag. So here in the good old US of A, our tooth fairy traditions, they go back to Europe of the Middle Ages, where the Vikings would pay children for their baby teeth and wear them on necklaces.
So they could pretend they had killed a man.
Well, it looks badass as hell.
Small man.
Yeah. Look at all these babies I killed. Brings good luck in battle. And it also helped the child because there was this belief that witches would curse you if they could possess your teeth. So better give it to that Viking than that witch. And
Put them in your gutters.
in England, there was a superstition, medieval England, there was a superstition that if children didn't burn or bury their baby teeth, they would be damned to spend eternity looking for the lost tooth. However, like you said, this is all very traumatic, so they needed to put a nice gloss on it. Where does the tooth fairy originate? It's hard to say, but there's an early publication in the Chicago Tribune in 1908 in a column called Household Hints, and I shall read. Quote, many a refractory child will allow a loose tooth to be removed if he knows about the tooth fairy. If he takes his little tooth and puts it under the pillow when he goes to bed, the tooth fairy will come in the night and take it away, and in his place will leave some little gift. It is a nice plan for mothers to visit the 5-cent counter and lay in a supply of articles to be used on such occasions. End quote. Did your mom do the tooth fairy?
Yep.
Cool.
For money.
Me too. All right, so that's the tooth fairy. Now,
Well, can I just say what the tooth fairy traditions remind me of?
sure.
It's the things you do around weddings as well, that everything's bad luck and good luck, because having a wedding is a fucking traumatic experience. It can only go wrong. There's too much anticipation. So if rain is going to ruin the day, because it will, then it's good luck.
Yeah.
But it everything is used to like push and pull the right things from happening. No bride wants their husband to see them until they're coming down the aisle. So there's that, so what do? You make it bad luck to see your bride on their wedding day. Like it's just, everything is just to move it in the way that people actually
That's
would
why.
like. Yes.
Never real. Oh, I guess that would be kind of cool if I suddenly saw my beautiful bride for the first time.
Yeah,
walking down the aisle.
that's the moment.
Oh,
Oh, she's got boobs.
like a bird poops on you. That's good luck.
I'm saying it's gonna happen. Birds are in the sky. There's a lot of them. We're walking around below them. Poop's gonna happen. You got to turn it into something positive, or else what do we do?
Here's what was not positive: was The Rock's acting career after the rundown.
Segue.
But first, we have to catch up with his wrestling career, which
Okay.
was winding down. He returned to WWE in January of 2003. I've never say 2003 for his last run as a full-time wrestler. Now, remember last week, he was like dipping in and out of WWE and the fans were starting to turn on him. The chip on the shoulder wrestling fan can see this guy's not long for wrestling. Yeah, he may be in movies appearing as The Rock. Yeah, Vince McMahon might be a producer of these movies because of some contractual obligation. I'm going to look even more into that because I think Vince McMahon and WWE own the name The Rock, and that's why they have to get credited if he uses that name in a movie. Anyway, but yeah, so the fans were starting to turn at him. So when he comes back, he debuts a new heel persona. But this is different from his old heel persona. Now he's Hollywood Rock. So he shaves his head. He wears leather pants and sunglasses.
Yeah.
He would arrive to the arena in a helicopter.
Oh.
I mean, not really. They would just show footage of a helicopter. And then he came out to the ring. He would do this thing where he'd bring out an acoustic guitar and perform songs. He actually has a good singing voice and he can play guitar. Mm-hmm. And well, in this one clip that I watched, this one promo, he did the douchiest song that you could possibly sing,
Give
which
it to
is,
me. Douche all over me.
what's the douchiest song?
My Way.
Yes, My Way. Very good. So the crowd would repeatedly chant, you sold out, and asshole at him during his appearances. But if you watch these promos, it's weird because they still love him so much and they want to cheer along with his catchphrases. So he would start he would say, if you smell what The Rock, and then they'd finish for him and he'd be like, shut up.
So that they can participate.
Yeah, you don't get to say it.
I gotta say, if there's anything that that puts my prickles up, I do feel like this instinct to be angry at someone that wants to cross over and be good at something else.
Yeah.
So like an actor who's all of a sudden a sports player or whatever. So there's something a little bit different for me from a wrestler wanting to become anything else because of the stigma of wrestling. I get that, which is shitty towards wrestling fans. That's not fair, but it doesn't make me go, hey. But if you're a wrestling fan and you're being left for someone who's becoming a movie star, it is quite the ballsy move to say, I'm also a singer and musician. So I'm just like, okay, virtuoso. Now I really fucking hate you.
That's what's good about the Hollywood Rock persona. Is it's not just that I'm a movie star, I'm a singer.
I'm a mogul, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I sit now. What's up?
And he has a headset mic, which wrestlers never do. But that's so douchey
He's an
too.
announcer. He's Madonna.
He's so good. I watched tons of clips of him. He's so good in this role. So he was feuding once again with Stone Cold Steve Austin. They had 3 different WrestleMania matches against each other in 99, 2001, and 2003. Stone Cold's career was also winding down, but because of injuries, his body was just breaking down. Whereas The Rock was like, I'm voluntarily leaving this all behind. Mm-hmm. Whereas Austin, he would have liked to do this forever, but yeah. So Rock would come out to the ring. He'd cut promos. There's his cell phone would ring and he'd be like, hold on, I have to take this. And he'd tell the crowd to shut up. And he'd be like, I'm so happy to be here in Indiana. And then on the phone, he'd be like, no, I'm not staying overnight with these hicks. And then he'd be like, no, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about those hickory trees outside.
Okay.
All right. Funny shit. This all culminates. Wrestling is in a period of immense decline at this point. It was brought to its highest highs in the late 90s because of The Rock and Stone Cold.
Okay.
But now they're on their way out and
Having
it
a
is
hard time changing the guard.
Oh, yeah. And basically, they kind of never. I mean, they do to John Cena, but they really, really struggle for a long time. And so you're kind of just leaving behind. Like, it is truly just the diehards now at the arena. At the wrestling arenas. So Rock defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin in WrestleMania. That's Austin's final match. Rock will come back a few times the rest of the year, and then his final match is in 2004. His contract with WWE ends, and he won't appear again until 2011. So that's when he really leaves.
That's a big break.
Yeah, and when he does come back, he has I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 like legit real matches, as in like, you know, go 15 minutes where that isn't just I show up, I do a move on somebody and then I leave.
That's quite the risk.
Yeah. And he did get injured wrestling John Cena in 2012 and 2013.
Did he get mad at John Cena personally?
No, I don't think so. Just he was old and he hadn't done it in a long time. But yeah, wrestling was done for him. All right. So, but his movie career was really sputtering.
About to be done for him.
Yeah. I knew that this was a rough time for him, but really looking at the movies and how poorly they performed, it is rough. And like, even if you consider The Rundown was a flop, we love The Rundown.
Yeah. That really truly is not fair for like the thing you did really well for it to just not take off.
Yeah.
And then just have people be like, I knew it was bad by then watching what you do next. That's not fair.
And maybe there is, you know, movie fans are not like united like wrestling fans are, but it's almost like a reverse wrestling thing where the PR machine is spinning real hard and saying, here's The Rock. He's the next big star.
This never works for him in any of his career.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't go into football that way. You can't go into wrestling that way. And you can't go, like, he just keeps not learning from his mistakes or keeps not being able to steer his people. He seems to want to steer directors, but not his PR.
Yeah.
Why don't you put him as like the underdog and or just frame it a different way than you've all been waiting for this?
And it's like, no, we haven't.
Right.
So he has to pay his dues for a while. So follows up The Rundown with Walking Tall, a remake of a 70s movie. I think I watched this movie. I had never seen it. This is his first attempt to do like a real performance, like a dramatic sort of like it's a pulpy movie, but he is like trying to give it some real like dramatic weight, and like he's fine. He does pretty good.
Okay.
He has to kiss a woman and he seems uncomfortable with that.
Which woman?
I don't remember her name.
Okay. I hope she doesn't remember her name.
This movie is a big old flop. And so he plays a flamboyant gay bodyguard in Be Cool, the sequel to Get Shorty.
Yeah, and I remember liking Be Cool, but I probably am misremembering because it's got two of my favorite people, Uma Thurman and John Travolta. I mean, from my favorite movie.
I've never seen it, but I'm looking at the poster right here, and I notice one certain person missing from this sequel who was in Get Shorty.
If this is a test, I'm failing.
It is my favorite actor of all time.
Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan.
Who?
Gene Hackman.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not here for this shit. But The Rock, this movie's not a hit. It gets horrible reviews, but people praise The Rock's performance.
Okay.
For showing his versatility.
For getting goofy.
Getting a little goofy.
Or just totally taking on a persona.
Yeah.
Like being confident in like I've made choices. This is this guy. This guy exists.
Making choices, yes.
Yes.
So
if there's anything I have a problem with there's certain things I have a problem with the Tooth Fairy. But that's one of them. I don't understand. We'll get there, but like, I don't understand so many of the choices, and I feel like he keeps changing his mind. It doesn't feel like a fleshed out person. That makes sense.
Yeah, which is like the problem with every recent role of his.
He's too much sunshine and then flips it, and it like that. It doesn't. These two people don't make.
Yeah, not.
He's down on his luck and like he doesn't believe in hopes and dreams, but he acts this way with kids, and he's this happy with his friends, and he's this happy with his partner, but he's just been shit on so hard, and he's so down, and he just never make you. That's those two guys don't make sense together.
Yeah, there's no core that unites them.
No.
All right, so he plays the villain in the video game adaptation of Doom. Or the adaptation of the video game Doom, not a hit. He is in the one time in his career where he works with an auteur director. He makes the movie Southland Tales, directed by Richard Kelly, he of Donnie Darko fame. This is such a notorious flop that Richard Kelly gets put in movie jail and never gets let out, even though he made Donnie Darko. But this has since become a cult classic. Reuniting The Rock with Sean William Scott.
Did you dip into that? You said you're going to watch it. I'm curious. I want to see what this is like.
I paid the $3.99, but I have yet to watch it. Okay. I have 27 days remaining on that rental.
And you will let me know if I should watch it.
Yes.
Thank you.
So like really his career looks like a failure. I remember reading Gene Wilder's memoir, and he said, if you want to be a movie star, you have to go, the bare minimum is you got to have 1 out of 3 movies become a hit.
Oh, wow.
And Rock is like 0 for 8. So he pivots to family entertainment. The Game Plan, a Disney movie where he plays a football who learns, I have a daughter. I have to go to ballet recitals. I don't know about that. A huge hit, $150 million worldwide. He's in another live action Disney movie in 2009, Race to Witch Mountain, a remake of the 70s Disney live action movies about witch mountains. I took my sister to this. I don't remember shit about it, but it's another hit. He is a voice in the animated film Planet 51.
I have no memory of this.
Never heard of this movie. Might have to do a Forgotten Animated Films video about it because literally never heard about this movie, and it made decent money.
Okay.
He was in Get Smart, which was actually an enormous hit.
I loved Get Smart. What did he play in Get Smart?
He was I think he's like the guy who doesn't like Steve Carell and then turns out is the villain.
Okay. I'd watch that.
And yeah, a huge hit. Like when Steve Carell was a legit movie star, where everything he touched was huge.
I feel like that's still true. It just he does some serious shit now. You don't know anything. You don't know.
And then finally, Tooth Fairy in 2010, another big hit. But we are at the end.
This was a big hit?
This was a big hit, yeah.
Okay. I know we're not supposed to believe Rotten Tomatoes, but I guess that's just people went, though. They showed up.
Yeah,
he
I'm not
was
saying
on a
it was
streak.
well received.
Right,
It wasn't as big a hit as the Game Plan. And I think in my memory, I switched these movies up. I thought Tooth Fairy was the football movie. A movie where he plays hockey? That's weird.
It is very fucking weird and clunky, and he does not look good in it. He looks small, and maybe that's because he's around a bunch of big people, but like he just looks like he's in an oversized shirt. He doesn't look cool.
And the hockey arena looks like it has 300 people in it.
Because it's little league hockey, whatever we call it. He does have charisma with kids, though. Like he does. So far,
like
those
chemistry
are
or as in like
chemistry. Sorry, yeah. He pairs well with kids. It's when he's with adults that I start to get a little uncomfortable. When he's like the macho mean guy to the scrawny, I keep wanting to say elf, fairy like caseworker. That works for me because that role works for him. And then when he's just big lovable goofball guy, doesn't know what he's doing, but he really likes these kids, that works for me too. But then when he's with fucking adults where he's having conflict, I am so uncomfortable. He does not know what he is.
But John Cena and Dave Bautista both had to have they're like, I'm in a movie with kids.
I know. Well, so did Hulk Hogan. Like Hogan is the one that began this. Big guy, little person. He's Mr. Nanny.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but here's a thing, and we'll track this as we go. In The Rock's character, Luke Hobbs in the Fast and Furious franchise has a daughter, and in the first 2 or 3 appearances, she is played by the same actress. But she is growing up, and Dwayne then says, like, we got to recast her. So then now she's like 6 years younger. Because it's like he seems uncomfortable with a person above a certain age. which is fascinating.
I think he's asexual. That is what I've decided. Like, and if you're a wrestler, if you come from someone like he comes from his dad, this very macho industry, you look like that. People are like fawning all over you. Like, what do you do if you do not have a sex drive? How would you ever admit that?
I don't know. I mean, he's been married twice. He has kids.
Been married twice. Is he divorced twice?
He is married now, and his first wife is his longtime business partner and still his business partner.
Mm-hmm.
But I just hey, we can recklessly speculate all we want.
I'm just saying, I venture to say sexless marriage doesn't mean he didn't get kids out of it, but hey, gay people marry people all the time. I don't think he's gay.
No, he's not.
He doesn't have chemistry with men either.
There is a difference between being a sexual person in real life and playing it on screen.
Sure.
I can't imagine how uncomfortable that. Let's try it. Let's kiss me. Give me a kiss.
Gross.
Yeah, see? But in real life, we kiss all the time.
We're in there.
We're really sexual.
We
with
get
each
up
other.
in that mouth. We do mouth stuff
all the time. Mm-hmm. So if he's truly like, I just can't do it. I mean, but they're like, but you look like that. We have to keep trying.
His smile is amazing. Like I forget it's what it is, and then he does it. I'm like, like I feel angels shoot out of his mouth. He is so handsome. Like I never thought two things about him. He's not one of my guys, but damn it, every time he smiles, I'm like, how are those teeth in there?
Mm-hmm.
How is your mouth that shape? That's got to be hard to be attractive and successful, and people are throwing themselves at you, and you don't like sex. It's got to be hard.
Again, we don't know if that he doesn't like sex. We don't want to impugn
Allegedly
his character.
Allegedly, according to me. Wait, but there's nothing wrong with asexual people. This is not imputing his character. This is just asexual people are not represented in media at all. There'd be no place for them, certainly not in his era, certainly not for what he does as a profession. You can't be open about these things. If there's anything people don't get, it's people who don't have sexual attraction. Mm-hmm. It must be so lonely.
Sure.
He's lonely.
Sorry. I'm not saying that would be necessarily a bad thing.
But
I just don't want to assume that if you
say.
can't do it on screen, that you can't do it in real life.
Sure.
This is the end of this phase of his career. He will start to figure things out. And in our next episode, which is on Fast 5, that is kind of the relaunch of The Rock. But in between that, he has the other guys, the Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, Adam McKay movie, where he has he's a small role in that with Samuel L. Jackson, where he and Samuel L. Jackson are like the badass cops. Mm-hmm. He is not as funny as you want him to be in that, but I think it was really well received.
Oh, okay.
So just real quick about this movie, Tooth Fairy has its origins with writer Jim Piddock.
And this is okay. This makes a lot of sense because that's all I felt this whole time is a way less toy-filled sandbox for someone to extend what it must be like to be an actual tooth fairy. What is that world? It is so disappointing.
So this guy, Jim Piddock, who's mainly an actor but sold a lot of scripts, in 2010 he told Geek Week that he basically had always wanted to do a mainstream Christmas family movie, but he couldn't find an angle, so he was like, Tooth Fairy, I don't know. And he successfully sold that pitch to Jason Blum. Jason Blum, before he started Blumhouse, produced this movie.
Wow.
And
it's horrific.
The director is Michael Lemdeck, who directed The Santa Claus 2 and The Santa Claus 3, both of which have Tooth Fairy characters in them.
Oh.
And a council of mythical beings.
Okay.
Does Michael Dorn play the Tooth Fairy? I don't remember who plays the Tooth Fairy.
Do you find it weird how many times Leprechaun is brought up as a joke in this movie? In the Tooth Fairy? It's like 3 or 4 times it's used as a joke. And it's like, okay, think of another mythical thing. We got
not
it.
the movie. I thought
Leprechaun. No. Just like it's like they can't think of unicorn. They can't think of Sprite. They can't. Freaking Leprechaun.
Yeah, a pixie.
I got it. You've used it so many times.
There's so many others.
Look at you naming them all.
Yeah,
Pixie. I said Sprite. You go Pixie.
A fairy.
You're just naming different kinds of fairies.
Okay, but a leprechaun is a type of fairy.
Tell them that in an Irish bar. You see if you don't get asked to leave politely.
Michael Lemdeck directed those 2 Santa Claus movies. He directed the notorious Nia Vardalos vehicle Connie and Carla, her big follow-up to My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
What?
A famous bomb.
Yeah.
And he directed the, High School Musical straight-to-video movie Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, the straight-to-video Nickelodeon movie The J-Team, and some geezer pleaser called Queen Bees.
Can you not call it a geezer pleaser unless they're pleasing each other in their genital area?
Starring Ellen Burstyn, James Caan, a bunch of other...
It's starring all the people who are still alive.
Yeah.
Right.
People. And this movie was a success and had a straight-to-video sequel starring Larry the Cable Guy.
Now, this one makes sense to me.
Yeah. Larry the Cable Guy also was in a straight-to-video sequel to Jingle All the Way. How about that?
He's your pinch single guy. Like if this didn't work, I stand firm. Cars 2 is the best one, and it's because of him. He's got legs. He knows what to do with these ridiculous premises.
Mater has legs. I 100% agree with you. Mater is a good character. Larry the Cable Guy is very good as Mater. Cars 2 is the only good Cars movie.
Yep.
Mater is a lovely character. And there's this great video where Larry the Cable Guy breaks down crying, talking about how much the character Mater means to him and how it's made him connect with so many people around the world. God bless that man.
I really do like him.
All right, that's the history of the Tooth Fairy. Sorry, Tooth Fairy.
I'm already struggling with the fact that I gave this a 2.5. I really think I just got Stockholm syndrome toward the end and was
That's
like,
funny.
I'm here. I'm dialed in. Show me your redemption story. I love that. All right, everyone's nice and sweeties. 2.5 rock, whatever.
When we did our mini series recapping Severance, Lumen is listening. Go check that out. It has its own podcast feed. We watched those episodes like 3 different times, and I would take just the most detailed notes. And I haven't taken notes on a movie. I haven't taken this in-depth notes since Severance, as I was taking my notes on Tooth Fairy.
You wouldn't think that there's 2 reasons to take a lot of notes. But there are.
Just until eventually I was like, I can't keep doing this.
These choices, it's so disjointed. I don't know where they were going with this.
Start in the most electrifying environment in sports, minor league hockey.
And I feel nothing. I don't know if it's directing. I mean, yeah, sure. But like this is a huge crowd for what I thought was like pros until they made it very clear it's minor leagues. And I don't know anything about hockey. So I'm like, all right, wrestling's really big when it's local. It's in your backyard. You get big crowds.
Well, just to stop a little, some pedants out there on the fucking internet. Minor leagues are pros. They minor leaguers don't like it when you say the pros because they are paid, but it is the minor league. And so like the way that, the movie does not ground you in the world of professional hockey at all. And this opening sequence is shot like he's in the NHL, and I just assumed he's playing for the
Wait, what would it look like? The sponsorships are what make it look like the NHL. The arena makes it look like it's
and
NHL.
It's shot to be exciting and electrifying, even though you start to notice this arena is pretty small.
Wait, so you're saying that people don't get excited while they're watching minor league things?
Of course they do. But the movie has no attitude on minor leagues. It would be interesting if it's like he's a big star in a tiny pond, but it actually makes it seem like he's a big star in a big ass pond.
And also I don't watch hockey, but I feel like I'm seeing too much of his face. Is this really a hockey helmet? I don't know, but okay, but I don't think of a hockey as like a basketball where like it's these individual personalities that I'm like really getting to see. They're like larger than life. They're right there. They make comments and I hear them. He's talking to the fans like he's in a wrestling match. He's stopping the progress of the game after doing the thing he's supposed to do, though it looks like a lot of damage for one fucking hit. Are they really replacing the glass this often? And they're super excited about it in this little minor league place, and people are getting glass shards in their face, and he's going at a grandma who's now dead probably. I mean, it's like just the liability alone. This is what you want? This?
So, okay. it's the announcers say, and the Ice Wolves have it. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So they didn't license an actual NHL team, but this is supposed to be NHL until you realize this arena does not go up that high.
Does not.
This is,
This is the high school. High school level bleachers.
Okay, but yeah, Coca-Cola banners and DirecTV. You're like, damn, these sponsorships. So this is the most like popular minor league team in the world.
Sure.
And The Rock is playing a character on the team who's like, and the movie doesn't make this clear at all, he is just a gimmick. He is just a goon. They say, here comes the defenseman. And
I got that. What I didn't get was that he was ever anything more than that.
Okay.
I thought that his career was all about being this character and hitting hard.
Yeah, no, because he has the speech later. I was draft first round pick. I was a star scorer.
I didn't know he was a stick man.
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie, when he decides, you know what, I think I will go back to the NHL, and he's starting for the LA Kings, and they say starting at wing. Now he's no longer a stupid defenseman. He's a
part
wing.
of the Flying V. I've seen the Mighty Ducks. I know.
So these are the Lansing Ice Cats. Now look, to be fair, I looked this up. The AHL is the biggest minor league system in North America. It is basically the hockey's equivalent of AAA baseball, and it is affiliated. And NHL teams do, have a relationship, where you send someone down or pull someone up from this team. So this team is supposed to be the feeder team for the LA Kings,
and I think they make that clearish when they bring in the new guy.
In real life, Grand Rapids, Michigan has an AHL team, the Grand Rapids Griffins, and they have averaged 7,000 fans per game per year. They are one of the most successful minor league teams, period. So it's like, okay, in Michigan, for whatever reason, minor league hockey can be big. I will buy that. What I am annoyed with the movie for is for having like no interest in exploring the life of a minor leaguer, the culture of a minor leaguer.
How much money is he making? Does he have a nice apartment? Does he live in a nice area? Is he doing work on the side? He's got an older car that seems to be like a glorious past life where he got that vanity plate customized, and that car would have been really cool like 10 years ago. So, like, I cannot tell if he has money. Yeah. Money does not seem to be an issue here.
Right, it's not. And then, how does he feel about all of it? How does he feel about anything?
He's hot and cold. He's all over the fucking place. He is whatever the director's... Okay, now a smile.
Whatever on a scene by scene, like he's like changing his like quantum identity from second to second.
Thank you. I don't know who this guy is. He doesn't make sense. And bipolar doesn't work because that's not how bipolar is, and he's never too mean. He is sometimes so nice that it's uncomfortable. He's awkward. He doesn't know what to say, and then he says just the right thing. He's down to earth, and then he has no idea like the audience he's talking to, and then he's the realest motherfucker a lot. I can't track him.
Yeah, and this is the thing where I wouldn't blame a single actor in this movie, most of whom I think they're doing their best, including The Rock. He is charming. He has moments in the movie where you're like, yep, there he is.
There he is. And he comes through and I'm like, okay, all right.
It is so shittily directed that Michael Lemdeck, the director, seems to have no idea who anybody is on a scene-by-scene basis.
Right. He's like got the script when they did, or like right that moment, it's okay, so this is a scene where we do this. All right.
So
action.
The crowd is chanting tooth, so they send in Derek Thompson. His name is Derek Thompson. Is Ezra Klein on the team? Does he have thoughts about how we should let billionaires do whatever they want? Anyway, they're chanting tooth. Derek Thompson is the tooth fairy. And what he does, the coach tells him, find a dark jersey and hit it. So he just goes in and lays somebody out and knocks their tooth out and then destroys the glass, gets sent to the penalty box where he has his own customized recliner chair.
And then makes a bunch of horrific puns like you can't handle the tooth.
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down. Also, get in your box. You're slowing down gameplay. What are you doing?
And it's like,
get in your box.
Minor league baseball, which I know better than I know minor league hockey. I like hockey. I just don't watch it enough to understand it.
It looks fun.
Yeah. When the NBA playoffs are I start watching an NBA playoff game every night. The game will end and I'll be like, oh, check out the NHL playoff game. And it's fun. And I think I should do this more. And then I never do that. I have been saying this to myself for 15 years. I should watch NHL.
You know, it never occurred to me, but these fans basically have to go into a refrigerator to watch this game because they're all dressed in like winter stuff. But the rest of the movie, it's the spring or the summer. Like it's not
I
cold.
got that cold ice. I don't know. I've been to hockey games.
Sure.
I wasn't
just
cold.
Never thought about it. Like, look at them. Look at the way they're dressed. Look at how hockey players are dressed. And then look at the costuming for every time he's not in the rink. It's like it was shot in 2 different seasons, unless this is just how it is. Maybe it's cold in there. I do not know.
Minor league baseball certainly has like this is legit sports, but also there's like some stunts like there's fireworks and
Globetrotters.
stuff.
Okay.
Like it's like 10% more Globetrotters because it's like we got to get the fans in somehow. And so a guy who's like, now it's the Tooth Fairy, he comes out, he lays the guy out, and then he gets in his recliner.
All that
seems like a minor league stunt.
It's like in place of a mascot, we do this. Or because of it.
And you would think that maybe this guy, as the main character of our movie, this will be a story about him and how does he feel about being that guy?
Right.
Nope. No interrogation
is he a laughing
of that
clown?
all.
Is he in on the joke? Does he hate it? Is he a big ruffian outside? Is he like overly aggressive? Does he bring it with him off the court? Or is he just, you don't expect it, but he's actually a total sweetheart? He's none of those things in all of them.
So then
this fucking guy, this twerp, Mick the Stick, I want to break him with an axe.
So you're like, okay, I know what this movie's about. Meet the new hot prospect on the team. His name is Mick the Stick.
Got it.
Mick the Stick Donnelly.
We're gonna see some camaraderie here after they prove themselves to each other.
This will be an annoying like Ted Lasso story where eventually you're like, okay, they won this asshole hot. He's like a Connor McDavid like hotshot young hockey prospect who knows. I'm just here for, even the coach is like, he's just going to be here for a cup of coffee before he gets called up to the Kings. But till then, The Rock, I want you to look after him. And The Rock's like, oh, okay.
Okay, my shirt's off. Is anyone else upset that he gets made fun of while his nipples are out? It's just that, it's me. You just let him put on some clothes, Mick, before you start saying the most cliched, obvious a guy that's slightly older than me comments. It's at least be clever.
He goes up
be
to
clever.
Him. He's like, oh, welcome to pro hockey, kid. And Mick the Stick is like, is there an old timers game today?
He's brand new. Pay your dues, you little twerp ass bitch. Don't make me hate you and then not care about you at all.
That's the thing. You're like, ooh, I can't wait to watch this guy get his comeuppance. No.
Not even satisfying. Couple things happen, not fucking satisfying.
This guy is like in 2.5 more scenes in the movie.
And he's a completely obnoxious in a way that's not fun. Yeah, every time.
He is played by professional skateboarder Ryan Sheckler. Shouldn't they have gotten an actual hockey player to play?
Why not? Why not talk actual trash? Trash that is spoken. How about say things that are real? How about interview a minor league fucking hockey player and ask, is there a dynamic with people who are older so that's why they're here, and people who are young because they haven't gone to the pros yet, and that's why they're here? So there is this kind of weird age mishmash that happens more often in this kind of league than in advanced leagues. That's interesting.
Yeah,
let's explore that.
The movie Bull Durham is like about that very thing of Kevin Costner
people
being like,
in and
I
people going out.
understand my role here. I'm never going to be in the majors again, but I can be here to help the guys whose destiny is to be in the majors. But then also, what is my place in the universe and all that, and then love for the game anyway.
Right.
There's nothing like that.
No. So why even is he a hockey player?
Even though so much of this movie takes place in this hockey arena during hockey
and
games.
Then he puts on, I feel like the whole thing is just so he can be a badass looking tooth fairy. Like, what can we do to a tooth fairy costume that isn't completely weird and it doesn't, jack the fucking Batman's costume? Hockey stuff.
Yeah, I think the whole thing started with we'll call it the tooth fairy because what's a sport where people get their teeth knocked out? Hockey. Great. That's it. That's the only, that it went no farther than that.
Can The Rock skate? Does he look like...
he does skate.
Okay. I'm saying they didn't ask these questions. Can The Rock skate? Does he look like a toddler when he wears a big giant jersey? Should he be around other professional hockey players that then dwarf him or equal him and make him look small when the point is that The Rock is big? Does everyone look stupid with butt pads and hip pads? Yes! You cannot look cool skating your ass off while half of the rest of your ass is still behind you like big mama hips and I can't, it's so awkward. You're taking away his coolness, and that's what The Rock is. Cool.
Welcome to pro hockey, kid.
Yeah, is there a old timers game today? I didn't realize you were even still playing, man. I used to be a big fan. All right, see you later, man.
And then the camera just lingers on The Rock's face, it changes like a tiny bit, and then the most trinkly like piano chords start going. He's like, no, I'm sad. Aww. But then he immediately moves on. He's feeling bad for himself, but a bunch of fans are like, hey, the Tooth Fairy, please, may we sign our shit?
The most earnest looking kid with his little face. The most don't be mean to me little kid.
And we have the one good scene of the movie. Now, Lacey went into the room to watch the beginning of the movie with me.
I was so upset.
And you were like, I can't wait to watch you watch this. And I had AirPods in, so you didn't even hear the movie. You're just staring at my face as I watched the movie.
And I'm waiting for you to validate my feelings. Like, why isn't he cringing? Why isn't he cringing?
Yeah, like 5 minutes in, I was like, oh, it's not bad.
And to me, this scene is the first time you see how it makes sense. He's in the middle of a game. He's acting all gregarious. Okay, fine. Then he's in the locker room. He's giving a little twerp, and then his face gets a little screwed up because the twerp's a little asshole. That makes sense. Then it comes to this, and now he's got that on his mind. Then he puts on this fake ass smile, and he's doing. I guess this is where I first noticed like this guy's tone is all over the place.
Well, okay, but it is a glimpse into the kind of character he could have been playing in the kind of movie this should be. Okay, so this little kid's name is Gabe, and he's like, Mr. Thompson, I'm the third leading scorer of my hockey league. And he's like, that's fantastic, Gabe. And he's like, one day I'm going to play in the big leagues just like you used to. And then like some Curb Your Enthusiastic music starts playing, and The Rock gets a little smirk on his face, and he's like, and you can see like, all right, he just got fucking
kid.
So well, and the kid's like, I practice every day. And I like his dad then butts in and he's like, I drive into practice almost every day. Okay. How old are you? 8. He's like, here's the deal. You're 8. You're the third leading scorer in your league. And somewhere in this country, there's a 7-year-old. He's the leading scorer in his league, but he's going up against 12-year-olds. And let me tell you, every single town has one of those kids. And all those kids are going to battle each other. And, 1% of all those kids is going to make it to the big leagues. And then 1% of them are actually going to be stars. So,
And I think that's fair. That is exactly what it's like. And in that moment, you feel like you're not being given any respect for how hard it was for you to get right where you are. And you're taking on this kid. Fine. That's a little bit misguided. But you're right. Like, this guy can't be downtrodden. This can't be about that, because they immediately throw you into this story where he has the most gorgeous fucking girlfriend with the most adorable kids who want his love. Yeah, he's got a little bit of an uphill battle with the boy, but like he just looks like he has a great fucking life. So that which is it?
Right. So well, and he says, it's funny. He's like, all right, and let's say you do make the NHL, and the kid brightens up. He's like, yeah, and The Rock says, you won't. And the kid immediately like looks down. He's like, you make it to the show, and then the show hits you in the face, and then you get sent down to the minors, and then you fucking hurt your shoulder, and then you never make it out of the minors. So lower your expectations. That's how you're going to be happy. And then he does the most charming Dwayne Johnson smile ever, and he's like, take care, Gabe. Well,
and you said that they don't do a good job of laying out that that's what happened to him. I mean, he says in the very beginning of the movie, Matt.
Not that. I'm talking about how he feels about it and how the movie feels about it and how we are supposed to feel about it, because I think that thematically there should be a link to him coming into this family as like a new dad figure.
Yes.
Him realizing like, it's okay that I couldn't make it back to the NHL. It's okay. Like this young boy who's, I like his mom, but maybe I don't like him so much. You know what? I am starting to bond with him. Oh, there's beauty in learning to accept the life you have, not the life that you wish you could have. Well, if fate weren't so cruel. But then the movie even has the poisonous idea that like the only reason he doesn't have that life is because he's not motivated enough.
Not pushing hard. He won't keep trying, keep failing, keep killing his body.
So there's just like this, don't believe in the power of dreams, kid. Don't do it.
You're so right. He asked at the end of this movie, spoiler alert, he asked the mom to marry her. She says yes. The kids could not be fucking happier. And then he makes it to the pros. So now he's a shitty dad? Yay! Now he fucking tours, and now he's never available, and he cares about his body, and
he still would have been touring in the AHL.
Fine, but it's so much more chill, and now he's not going to last as long as he would have physically. He doesn't have as much time. He's getting way more fan adulation, which will put a strain on any marriage. I just. What are we rooting for?
Maybe that's what Tooth Fairy 2 is about with Larry the Cable Guy.
I hope so.
But truly, this is
Can we get off the first scene of the movie?
that you gotta dream big. That feels like an AI generated prompt for what is the theme of the kids movie going to be? The power of dreaming. But okay, a meaner movie would have The Rock here. This is who he would be. He's bitter, and he can be charming, but he's an asshole. He is basically Tim Allen in the Santa Claus.
Yes,
that's what he should be.
Yes.
And ironically, this movie was directed by the Santa Claus 2 and 3, where Tim Allen is no longer a mean asshole.
Oh, okay. And now immediately to him being so annoying with a kid. I'm sorry. I know the kid's into it, but if I were his fucking girlfriend, I'd be like, you need to tone it fucking down because you're annoying the shit out of me with your Dracula impression. With French fries in your mouth, those are the teeth. With ketchup on it. I get it's blood. You're going to drop the ketchup. You look insane. He's in the kitchen with his, we don't know who this is. We don't know this is in his family, but we do immediately see that the teenage son thinks it's very dumb what he's doing. So I don't know if this is a jilted son who's just not getting as much attention as his sister, or he thinks his dad is in hockey too long. The vibes in here, I do not understand. I don't know how long this couple's been together.
Right.
I'm not reading any of it. And then when she's like, okay, well, I'm going, or the kid's like, can you leave now so Derek can babysit me? It's like, wait, babysit you? And is he your Manny? Is that how you guys met? Was he sitting for you as and doing odd job? What is this?
Mm-hmm. And then, to show you, then Ashley Judd, who plays the mom, whose name, she doesn't have a name, she's just mom, kisses The Rock. So we're like, oh, okay.
And he puts his lips out so far away from his face so that the gorgeous, flawless fucking Ashley Judd doesn't have to get too close to his goddamn sexless lips.
The little girl is like, Mommy, I lost my tooth. The tooth fairy's going to visit me. And The Rock's like, hey, I'm the tooth fairy. And she's like, no, silly, I mean the real tooth fairy. Okay, so he has a great relationship with the girl, but then the older boy is like, stupid. Mommy, can I be excused to do homework because I'm perfect? How does The Rock feel about coming in and taking over as surrogate dad in this family? Why does he like the little girl so much better than the little boy?
He seems oblivious. He seems to be okay with whatever the fuck he's given.
So,
Wait, no, you skipped right over, or maybe you didn't. That he now has a fucking poker party with the boys?
Yeah, so...
Whose boys are these? Does she know these boys? You haven't been dating that long. Whose friends are these? You don't seem to have friends.
There's teammates.
Why are you at this woman's house?
Because he's babysitting.
But why do you have a poker game with a bunch of grown men with a tiny children in the house? It's fucking weird.
But a wholesome poker game where they're not drinking or smoking, they're just eating California Pizza Kitchen. And Ashley Judd then comes home and is like, oh, you boys. All right. And they're like, hey.
Having a sex ring with my children. This is clearly some sort of trafficking circle. You guys aren't even drinking or eating. Why are you here?
Oh, yeah. Some really sinister shit.
What is the draw for you guys? No. This is what you do with your Friday?
Angel Studios, Jim Caviezel, what's that guy's? Tim Ballard. You need to get on this. Get on this.
What's actually going on? We're sneaking in bedrooms. We're having secrets we keep from mommy. What the fuck?
But yeah, he's like the girl's like, you gotta babysit me tonight, and the mom's like, I have to go out and do mom stuff. All right, goodbye. Mm-hmm. So he's having a poker night with the guys, and they're like, we're just via hockey team, yes? And Dwayne Johnson is like, oh shoot, I have a terrific winning hand, I do, but I'm a little short on cash.
I'm so short on cash, I need $1 or maybe $10 from underneath the little girl's pillow upstairs.
Although I forgot one crucial detail, because this guy, he's not an asshole.
No.
I thought, that's funny. He's stealing the girl's money from under her pillow. That's fun. And it would be funny if then he lost it in the bet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ashley Judd. I bet your daughter's tooth fairy money in poker and lost it. But he even said to Ashley Judd, don't worry, I'll take care of the tooth fairy. So this is his own money that he put under her pillow just to make it a little less evil.
Yeah.
But no, he wins. He has a terrific hand. So he has all this cash. He just forgot to go back upstairs and put the money
has a great
fucking back
life.
in.
Why doesn't he fucking stop whining about it?
And the daughter wakes up and she's like, Mommy, my money's gone. So yeah, the Rock.
And he's not even in trouble. At every turn, He's not in trouble with this woman. Like, the's not really any stakes.
Well, he does get in trouble for this. And
He
this
doesn't.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
hold
you're
on.
right. You're right.
Hold on.
Oh, I remember.
So they go into the room and she's like, my money's gone. And The Rock's like, oh, well, shit. Okay, listen, maybe I like that Ashley Judd's like, I think that what happened is they took your tooth up to the toothometer to see how much it's worth. And The Rock is like, yeah, that's how it works. And then I like that the little girl's like, that is not how it works. That's a little funny.
Yeah.
So The Rock takes out a roll of cash and he's like, listen, just tell me when to stop and you can have as much as you want. But that's not going to work. Ashley Judd is on the floor. She's pulling money out of her own wallet. She's like, oh, I found it. And The Rock is like, all right, Tess, you're a big girl now. So I got to tell you, there's no such thing as the tooth. And Ashley Judd springs up and she's like, found it.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Have you never seen a movie where there's a step parent? Not your role, man. This is not what you do. I'm saying, like, he's so tone deaf. No one would think this is okay. You don't. That's what I'm saying. He's an idiot, and then he's brilliant, and then he's an idiot, and then he's mean, and then he's so nice, and he's so understanding. Then he doesn't understand anything.
Well, if he doesn't understand it, then there's a source of tension. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have kids. I don't know how this works. I'm new to this, babe. I'm figuring it all out. I just want the respect. You could get actual story shit out of that idea, but it's like he thinks like, no. I'm just gonna tell her there's no such thing as this tooth fairy. But then there's this. I mean, this movie's also like, who gives a shit about the tooth fairy?
It's a fucking shit. The stakes could not be lower. This tooth fairy is like the first thing you tell them doesn't exist. They don't even make the connection to the Easter Bunny and Santa for years. This tooth fairy's stupid.
Right. Like,
they live in Toothland.
Okay, but
surrounded by teeth.
Lazy, if he actually did just go out and say there's no tooth fairy, and if Ashley Judd did get mad at him, I'd be like, all right, calm down. It's not like he told her there's no Santa. Like, then I'd be like, okay, you ruined her fun for a long time.
And my way to like punish her.
Yeah, exactly. So they're arguing. She's like, you can't tell her. She's my daughter. You don't tell her where the tooth fairy is. You know what your problems are? You think that dreams are stupid. And he's like, I just don't want her to have unrealistic expectations, babe.
What kids are dreaming of the tooth fairy?
I know.
Oh, I dreamed to lose all of my teeth one day. Okay, but true story. My dad did take a hammer to his teeth when he wanted some money as a kid because he thought that is how it worked. And he knocked out permanent teeth with a hammer at his own home. I don't know that he got any money, but like he definitely thought it was like a revenue stream.
It was a revenue stream. It's like, I think I figured it out.
It was not.
This is like a renewable resource. They just keep coming back.
Right.
So she's like, you know what, Derek? Goodbye for the night. And he's like, what? No sex? And she's like, not even a single hand job. And so he has to go home and do it himself. But that night, he finds under his pillow a summons from the Department of Dissemination of Disbelief.
Stupid. At least in the Santa Claus, it was funny and interesting how it all happens. This is a summons. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it is so.
How many people don't believe? How many people are doing? It's just free labor. I don't like. No one believes in the tooth fairy. And guess what? If there were money under your pillow and you didn't put it there for your kid, I'd believe in the fucking tooth fairy. Like either it is or it isn't.
The Santa Claus also has that problem, for the parents.
Yeah.
So wait, do the parents think Santa's real or not? And later in this movie, a dad will go into his child's room to put tooth fairy money in, and then encounters the tooth fairy. What do parents think in this universe?
And do they get a summons? Why are you doubting the tooth fairy?
But there's another story beat that the movie's like, no, not interested in that, where Seth MacFarlane's like, you realize this is all a big scam. They enlist you. Tooth fairy labor is all being done by people who fuck up like this.
Right.
And then they have to go it's like jury duty, and then their memory is wiped. And it's like, even that's a funny idea for a movie.
Yeah.
And you find out it's like a prison camp up there. So The Rock sees this summons and he's like, what? And then he springs wings from his back.
Which
like,
creeps
I am
me
the
out.
Metatron.
I don't like how they poke out. Like it's like back boobs. It grosses me out every time. I'm glad that they don't show them growing. But like, oh no, I've got nubbins. Ew.
And he's like, oh, well, I have wings. I'm in a tutu. Oh, no. And then he gets sucked away to heaven or whatever.
To an airport. To a large bank.
Yeah, it's got...
There's no imagination. Everything's pastel. Everyone's in silk. There's tutus for the women and Peter Pan outfits for the men. And then everyone's a fairy, but you're also in the postal service and you're also like a checkout person. What do you mean?
Right.
At the Santa Claus, everyone's not some version of a Santa.
True. I think that the one good idea they have is that it's kind of like a post office with like pneumatic tubes. And I know you like a pneumatic tube, but you're right. It looks like shit. It's so bland and drab and pastel and no imagination.
It's empty. Just like you felt like the Santa Claus world was empty. And it didn't bother me there because everything else was funny about it.
But it looked so like plastic and fake, but at least it's like they tried to make something there.
This is just something that already exists and is very, very boring. Who would want this? Who would want to be this?
All right. So Stephen Merchant, he the co-creator of The Office with Ricky Gervais.
Yes.
He's a big part of this movie, and crucially, he is 6'7". He is taller than The Rock.
Why pick someone that is? I mean, I guess that's the point. He's supposed to be your adversary, your equal. You're supposed to buy it a little bit, I guess.
And
his authority.
And he's just got like a very different kind of energy. It's
He
like
does.
It's not a bad idea, and he's fine, and he's funny.
He's funny.
And The Rock produced a pretty okay wrestling movie, Fighting with My Family, that he hired Stephen Merchant to direct.
Okay.
That's about the only thing interesting about that connection.
I think they have chemistry. I just don't think there's much.
Nothing to
there's
do.
nothing for them to do. Yeah. It's not compelling what they set out to do. I'm annoyed every time he's like summoned to go do it. Who could do this? The tooth fairy industry is just about ruining human lives. I mean, because like, what if you're the sole caregiver of a small child? You just you gotta go. You gotta go. Let's go. Get the fuck out of here. What if you're driving? What if you got kids in your car? What if you're a pilot?
You're a pilot, yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
Maybe that's what 9/11 was.
The most important thing is not that the fairy belief happens.
But this movie wants you to think that.
Ah!
Can you imagine how important? No, you can't because you have no imagination.
I
how
never
important
what
all
if.
this is. All right, so the people are like, you're the worst person in the world. You're a dream killer. And all these people are like, you suck, dream killer. We hate you. And then Julie Andrews arrives, and she's like the head fairy or whatever.
She's fine. I like her
I
fine.
like-
She's good, but like, why?
Hey, come here and like have some gravitas and some like Mary Poppins magic. So the people will just like trick themselves into being like, oh, this movie is full of whimsy and charm. Oh, it's Julie Andrews. Oh, la la la. And she comes in, she stops the fight. She's like, boys, you're behaving like leprechauns.
Was I wrong? They say
You weren't
leprechaun
wrong.
3 times.
A lot of references to leprechauns.
Pick another
So she's
thing.
like, sorry about the foul up with your outfit, because he's wearing a girl's tutu. But
Budget
we're having
cuts.
budget problems. Here's the problem. Our funding's drying up because kids don't believe anymore. They don't believe in tooth fairies. And the movie knows who gives a shit about the tooth fairy, so they have to tie it in. They also don't believe in unicorns or leprechauns or dragons. When did they ever?
Why do they imagine dragons as a band name if they could believe in them?
So here's the deal, bub. You got to serve for 2 weeks as a tooth fairy. But if you fuck up on the job or if you let anyone know that you're the tooth fairy, your sentence gets extended. It's like when I had detention in 8th grade, but if I didn't go, I'd have 2 detentions. And if I didn't go to one, I'd have 4. And it kept doubling until I ended up with 144.
Just like that.
And it was,
That's-
my mom was never angrier with me than when that happened. It was my one stretch as a bad kid.
Okay.
Again, an okay idea that the movie doesn't do anything with is like, actually the tooth fairy is like a debt slave, or like in Ready Player One.
Because teeth are gross when they're not in your mouth and when they're in your mouth.
All right, well,
Poop fairy. Like, oh, the big one. I don't know. Just, ugh.
so he ends up in the correct outfit with just some blue pajamas, and then he meets Billy Crystal.
And when they're like, oh, he's going to go meet Jerry. Oh, you mean a delightful fucking man? I love Billy Crystal. I mean, he's going a little heavy because there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, they're letting him go.
They're just letting him go. I like him.
Yeah, the moments that work in this movie are just like, oh, I like that actor.
Yep.
That's funny that they're doing their
Yep.
thing. Like whenever Stephen Merchant does his like puttering and murmuring around.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Or when The Rock gets to be charming or an asshole, I like it. Billy Crystal going off. He has one great, I think, a pretty funny line. He's showing him his role is he's the Q to James Bond.
Right.
Here's your weapons. You have invisibility spray, this wand that has a magic generator button. It'll make anything appear, but you have to be able to believe, but you don't, so you're not going to be able to use it, so fuck you. Also, here is some shrinking paste. And then Billy Crystal's like, you want to do it together? Come on, let's do it together. Come on, let's get small. Sometimes when I'm at home with my wife, I'll take a double hit. I'll be 3 inches tall. And then when she's asleep, I'll walk all over her. See, when you've been married a long time, you do stuff like that. Okay, that is...
It's funny, but at this point in the movie, I'm aggravated. I'm like, okay, you made me laugh. This feels like a waste.
Yeah, you resent the laughs.
Yes.
When they come.
I'm like, no, fuck you. You're manipulating me. I didn't ask for like a stand-up set in the middle of a shitty movie. I'm gonna laugh, but this doesn't mean you're doing a good job.
Right.
You're tickling me. That's cheating.
No, you're right. Yes, it is it's a cheap pop to reference wrestling. I just heard Stone Cold's music and I went, yeah, but it's just a Pavlovian. You just press the button in my brain.
Right.
So later he's like getting debriefed by the clerk at the office because it's like a Beetlejuice like bureaucracy of an afterlife. She's like, do you solemnly swear you'll always be a tooth fairy, never tooth fairy? All right. And he's like, yeah, okay. And she's like, here, there's the coupon. Go down in the gift shop. And he's just like, oh, the gift shop. I don't know. That's kind of funny too. Funny. Everything that's funny pisses me off.
Yeah.
Julie Andrews, he goes up to her and he's like, okay, fine. After everything I've seen, I believe in the tooth fairy. But it's just a bad time for me. I can't do that. I got a thing going on with my sports ball, sports puck. And my girlfriend, I got to patch things up with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, dear, sorry.
Well, and there's this through line of her like helping him understand not to interrupt women, or her at least. So it's like, is he becoming a better boyfriend because of Julie Andrews?
Oh no.
Why is this constant?
Like that. Yeah.
They don't connect anything.
Well, she also doesn't sell the joke of being interrupted because it doesn't seem like he's interrupting her. It seems like she's done, and then she's starts talking.
Done.
She's like, I was not finished with my sentence. Oh.
Then put a finger up. We're gonna need a signal, Julie, because your long pauses sound like being done.
Yeah, and she's like, I hear excuses and you're an asshole.
And I think you're on a power trip, and I think you're wearing a pantsuit, and I think you wish you were a tutu, or something happened wrong with what you're doing right now.
So it's the next morning.
I think you live in a mountain of teeth. I think you have a wall of teeth behind you, and they all smell a little bit different, and that's fucking gross.
And that you get off on that, you sick bitch.
No.
It's the next day, and The Rock is bringing flowers to Ashley Judd. And she's like, oh
my
flowers.
God, how did you know I like this?
And Ashley Judd, who I just love, one of my all-time favorites. I even thought, if maybe not next summer, we could do a summer of Judd.
Ooh.
The Ashley Judd movie. I love an Ashley Judd from the 90s. Give me Ashley Judd and Morgan Freeman, or Ashley Judd and Tommy Lee Jones.
Fuck
and
yes.
You got a picture.
She's just so warm. She's just so good. There's just something about that face. I believe everything she says. And if they'd had anyone else in this role, I don't think I'd believe that they had any chemistry at all.
Oh, I don't believe it. I think she sucks shit in this movie. But everyone sucks shit in this movie because they can't. There's nothing to do.
But she makes up for the lack of chemistry and like attraction that he just can't muster. He just can't do it. So like her big vein popping out of her forehead is doing so much work. She's just smiling. He just loves me. I mean, he is hot. I'd be pumped, that age, 2 children, divorced. Him? Yes.
I mean, sure, but
he's just a little bit nice, cool.
It's not dignified that she's in this movie. What's she doing here? And later,
it makes no sense. She owed a favor.
Later, when she we'll get to later when it's later.
Great.
Okay, so she's like, okay, oh great, come on in. Hey, I know you wanted to spend more time one-on-one with my creepy son. Go upstairs and do it now.
In his bedroom.
Okay. So he goes in, and the son is playing guitar, and this actor Chase Ellison is legit playing guitar. He's very good at it. And The Rock is like, here, I brought you a hockey stick. And the kid's like, why? And he's like, because I don't know. And the kid's like, look, we can just save this. You're a lot like my mom's other boyfriends. So again, the movie will not ground you in how long has this relationship, have these kids been through a lot? Does Ashley Judd date a lot? Has she had bad experience with men? But the kid, it's a funny detail where he's like, look, just leave me alone and I'll tell my mom that you're cool. And he's like, oh, okay, great, deal. That's funny. And that says a lot about the kid. Movie's not interested. Because later The Rock and Ashley Judd are like making out. They're back at his place.
Ew.
And
see, I'm just grossed out when he kisses anyone now because I don't think he likes.
No, I don't think they're even kissing.
He's got like a mouth guard in and like a stunt double. He's like, I'm gonna need an intimacy person. She's touching my leg.
DJ Khaled famously does not go down on his wife. like he's talked like because it's become a thing. Like everybody will ask him about it now. He's like, no, I just don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that.
Feel?
I just remember when COVID started, there was a picture of him like before everyone started wearing masks. He had a big N95 mask, and somebody just responded to the tweet. His wife asked him for oral sex.
Yeah,
that's why I said all of that.
I know.
They are, they're about to go to Pound Town. But first, The Rock is like, I have a surprise. Close your eyes.
It's just a tray of fruit.
I have strawberries and whipped cream. Which to believe movies, you're always fucking with strawberries and whipped cream.
Oh, I know. I
all
took
the
it as
time.
like Mr. Chef made her dessert. It didn't.
Oh, okay. So
It wasn't sexual.
they've probably never had sex.
Ever.
Yeah, and never will.
He
She already
doesn't
has
do
kids.
that.
What's the point?
Yeah, that's
only
for
dates-
procreation, and you don't need me for this.
In fact, yeah, he only dates. He's on the dating service to find
Women
with
who are
kids.
done.
It is.
Close up their shop.
Does that exist? A dating site that's just so you can find a family?
Okay, that sounds like it would be for pedophiles. So no,
Well,
Matt, we don't need the well on there.
no, I mean, free idea
No,
for some
we really-
enterprising tech person out there.
Angel Intercom, Angel Services. What did you say? What?
Angel Studios?
Yes, we need you to look at Matt. All right, come on.
You come on. He brings, I've got some surprise. Oh no, my BlackBerry's going
And
off. I have a tooth fairy assignment.
Now they do the thing in a movie that makes me the most uncomfortable. In a movie that has made me non-stop uncomfortable. You're telling me we're now going to have many, many scenarios of him being pulled out of his life just when things are going okay and being made to look like something he's not because of something he can't explain. And I fucking hate the misunderstanding trope in movie. I hate it. It's cheap. It makes me uncomfortable. It's not fair. It's not funny.
It's not like this actually like harms him though.
But I don't know that.
No, I know.
Until the fifth time, and I'm like, okay, he's
But
fine.
even then, it's
Actually,
like
just needs flowers.
The most basic children's movie would get some tension out of that. I do like that he's getting the notices on his phone. Like this is like an Uber alert. Like,
Sure.
oh, okay. Do I want to accept this one? Okay, yeah. So he's like, oh, I can't make out with you. I have diarrhea. All right, gotta go.
This scene. This is when I text you and I was like, this movie is relying almost so long on his ability to do physical comedy and reacting, and I'm gonna vomit.
And he's not good at
He's
it.
not good at it. His surprises are 1 nanosecond behind every time. Anytime he has to jump back, it's not on time. It's not normal either.
This is not normal.
I no more need movies. I no more need little person encounters big house animal. I
I
don't
love
need
that.
it fucking anymore.
No, I love that. I love when somebody gets teeny tiny. I resent that this movie doesn't do shit with it. Ooh.
Walk around on Ashley Judd, leave little footprints. Do a fucking callback.
Yes.
Ride
with
the
whipped
cat.
cream. Yes, you can. That's a PG joke you can do.
Right. Or like turn the cat into your ally or something. Have a skill. Actually be good at this in some weird way. How about
He
that?
takes the shrinking paste, goes inside the house. But this is like, okay, so we set you up. Here's the tooth fairy's got to go in.
Break and enter. You have to break and enter. The family is active. They're not all asleep. Just the kids gone to sleep. So we're setting you up for failure. We've got different things that have not been like fucking tested by fucking Food and Drug Association, and you're gonna throw these into their faces, and but don't do too much. That's not right. Or don't do the wrong thing. That's not right. Every series of tooth fairying is him traumatizing at least one person in a new way. They never resolve this shit.
It's not like the Santa Claus where he like shows up at a house and it's like, okay, the equipment knows what to do, and I'm
Right.
just like following along. He's like, you got to figure out the right tool to apply in the right
He
situation.
gets no training.
Yeah, no training. He kind of is like an Uber driver. He had to like take a self-guided test. So
I buy the Seth MacFarlane thing of they are setting, like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
They give you the stuff and then they can say, well, like, we gave you all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We did the flying training, even though you can't fly. And yet you keep coming back. We're like, oh, you did this wrong. And then like they keep moving the goalposts. That's at least interesting, but
Yeah.
have them be evil. Have him overcome them.
no, they're the most
but they're
benevolent
so
people in the universe.
Nice. And he's mean to him.
So he gets the fucking kid wakes up and sees him and he's like, Mom, Dad, I see a teeny tiny man. And then the cat starts chasing him, but he escapes on a tech deck Pee-wee trick board or skateboard toy,
Great.
hangs 10 and does a thumbs up at the fucking
Neat.
camera. All right, now we're at a hockey game, which ESPN is covering. But I guess it's justified because Mick the Stick is debuting.
There's too many settings, right? Too many settings. I don't need him to have a career also. I don't know. I get that the Santa Claus is a career and a family, and the family's a tricky spot for him. But where he really exceeds is in his career. But now that he's a tooth fairy, he's declining over there. So like he's becoming a better father. Like the way life is.
Yeah.
You put attention here, it gets better here.
No,
this
nothing.
man's entire life is falling apart, and it's not even interesting.
The game is going well for the Stick, but Derek gets called away on a tooth mission. So then Mick the Stick and all the other hockey guys chase him into the bathroom and like, dude, taking a shit in there, what?
Right.
And they're like yelling at him, and he's like, I gotta get out of here.
Because
So
they see his little shoes. They see his little elf that he's wearing something crazy, and they're like,
Yeah.
we're not leaving till we see what the fuck you're wearing.
Are you turning into the tooth fairy or something?
Because I seen a teeny tiny man once, but he wasn't your size. He was teeny tiny. My mom and dad came in. Because, these guys, they must have memories of this tooth
No,
fairy.
I know. That'd be an interesting thing to explore.
Be like, wait, I have seen this once. in
Yeah, or
Russia.
you're getting like a hypno-regression therapy and it's all coming out.
like at least one of them believes.
So he takes the shrinking paste and flushes himself down the toilet.
What a
Then
choice.
You're like, oh, okay, so now we're going to see like a sewer sequence. Nope, cuts
No,
immediately
right.
to him getting out of his car.
Is he going to be covered in filth at least? Something?
It is a tiny bit funny that he gets to his mission. He's so fed up and he's like, just answers the door. He's like, I'm a tooth fairy, immediately sprays amnesia on.
that is.
Amnesia's everybody, and then just drops a dollar bill on top of the pillow and then
Right.
leaves. But then he's up and Julie Andrews is like, you're not raising anybody's spirits. You're not. Oh my.
And he overdosed them, which he was never told is possible. And,
Right.
Right.
Look what you've done.
Right. They don't know who each other are. It's supposed to be 10 seconds. That doesn't make sense. You gave me the wrong shit then.
Right. They're like that. Yeah. This family, they don't know up or down. They're going to be condemned to an asylum for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Oh,
and they never
you've
tell
ra-
us otherwise. So
You've fucked up, Derek.
And then he turns invisible, but he looks like like I know that's coming later, but it's like they never tell us these things are being sorted out. We just think he's going around doing this to people, and that's how they are for the rest of their life.
So it's the next day, and Ashley Judd comes over, and she's like, will you babysit my shitty son? And he's like, oh, man, I mean, yeah.
We were only pretending to be buds. Oh, I guess we got found out. I guess we'll now get along for real. 'Cause that's all that happens.
How's he going to make that happen, though? How's he going to win over this kid? Here's what he does. Takes him to Guitar Center, and he's like, a lot of cool-looking guitars, huh?
Neat.
A lot of good-looking guitars up there. And the kid's like, I guess.
Yeah.
And The Rock just takes one off the shelf. He's like, here. And then walks away.
Wow. What? Like, you would take me to an art supply store, give me one of the markers on display and say, right on that shelf, and then take me home. Wow. I got to try something at the store.
It is fun to go play guitars at a guitar store. But, The Rock's, he's forcing it a little here, but he's like, I'm going to go check out the drums because he earlier said that he plays drums. And The Rock, the hardest working man in showbiz, I don't think he knew how to play the drums before this movie, but he's like doing a simple beat later in this movie. He's like, no, The Rock will not have a drum double. No way.
Well, good on him.
And I learned he plays ukulele. And in the segments where he played guitar on WWE, I watched it and I did think he is strumming it like a ukulele. And that makes sense that he knows how to play a ukulele.
And he gets to it earnestly. He gets to it through his bloodline to the ukulele. And then hipsters go and ruin ukuleles and fedora hats for all of eternity.
Just because Apple needed to sell iPods.
Yeah. And 10,000 steps, which are a lie.
Make me sick.
Ugh.
What do ukuleles have to do with Fitbit steps?
That they both were sold.
Gotta get 10,000
No, not Fitbit.
steps.
Okay, Fitbit was the first thing that made 10,000 steps the popular, but it's really the popularness of the rings on the iPhone and the Apple Watch that made it stick. I'm just saying, Apple ruins things.
Oh, I didn't know 10,000 steps was adopted by other. Google owns Fitbit now. I'm a Fitbit devotee for 10 years. It is a total sunk cost, and the app has gotten so much shittier since it was bought by Google, and I just every day loathe it. And I'm like, but I can't lose my steps.
Yeah, they're just satisfying rings on an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I never close the rings.
So here, take this guitar, and he puts a guitar on him.
Okay.
And the kid sits down and starts shredding. And then this chick comes up and she's like, "Hi, Randy,
Oh
you
my
sound pretty
God.
good, Randy."
You know how to pluck that.
And then her brother comes up and he's just like, don't talk to that loser because he's a loser pussy. And then The Rock comes out with drumsticks and he just
starts hitting the ball.
just drumming on the kid's head.
It's funny.
And he's like, hey, why'd you take Randy's guitar? And the kid's like, I don't know.
Why are you hitting me, strange man?
And he's like, well, stop that. And the kid's like, and runs away. And now Randy's like, yeah, you're all right, Derek.
You did child abuse for me.
And later, they're playing poker and using Cheetos for money. Now they're bonding with each other. And Randy's like, I gotta ask you a question. And he's like, you getting hair on your wiener, son?
Right. Like, why did you just let him ask the question? We don't. And then Big Boy Pound is this thing that he does a couple times in the movie. And
Hey, Big Boy Pound.
Big Boy Pound for not wanting to have the sex talk.
Randy's like, The Rock? No. Oh, okay. There's a talent show coming up. This movie has
So many elements.
strawberries and whipped cream and also a talent show. Two things that never happen in the real world.
There's a talent show at my school.
There are talent shows, but talent shows are so overrepresented in movies.
Oh, yes, 100%. And they're never at night. It's never a big to-do. It is during the school day. Everyone's in a uniform, and people just want to get out of class.
So then Ashley Judd so should I play in the talent show? And he's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you. Hey, is that your mom? And then the mom comes in. She's like, boys, let's go get some supper. And The Rock's
Don't
like,
say
hell yeah.
supper, Judd.
Hell yeah. I think most people do call it supper, Lacey. But The Rock gets Derek Thompson gets a call from Ezra Klein saying, there's an abundance of tooth issues. Come deal with them, please. So he is like, I can't go to supper with you. Sorry. And they're just like, oh, all right.
All right, no sups with you.
So it's his next mission now, and he uses invisibility spray, but then he still accidentally wakes up the parents there, so he decides to have some fun, and he's like, I'm a ghost. Why is he doing this?
Why is he doing it? What, these people will never be the same. They're fucked forever.
And like, okay, if you're listening to us right now and you're like, why are they being so cruel to this movie? And why are they asking why is he being a ghost? I'm asking why is he being a ghost because what about him makes us think he would want to be a ghost?
Right. He just wants to get in and get out. This person should be wanting to do a good job so he can be done.
Get the job done and get home. Clock in, clock out.
Right. You keep leaving your gorgeous fucking person, a partner, hanging, and you're just now finally bonding with this kid. And I mean, you got to feel weird. Like, just get in, get out. Why are you goofing around now?
Go.
Like just to really stick to Julie Andrews? That's not how it works. They have all the power in this.
Because now he's talking to Julie Andrews, and she's like, oh, you're just the worst tooth fairy we've ever had. You're not taking this seriously at all. And he's like, well, I'm running out of supplies. I need more supplies. And she's like, but we're running low on supplies. Because
of all the people who don't believe. Well, I'm pretty sure the people I just left are going to believe in something. I mean, why can't they believe in ghosts? That's fine, right? Or like, why can't they? That little kid that I ran around on the floor, he believes in fucking little guys now. I did see a little guy. I did. Now he's a hockey player, and he found me in the bathroom, and it's full circle.
Yeah. What are they going to be saying about the little hockey man 1,000 years from now? Can you even imagine? You can't. That's the point. But we've stopped believing. If the children stop believing,
also,
no child will.
If you're a tooth fairy and you accidentally make a kid feel he saw a sprite because you were so small that you look like a different kind of fairy, does that funding then go to the sprite community and not to the fucking tooth fairies because you accidentally gave a belief in something else? And does that mean that ghosts are getting funded?
Well, I would have to think that they are.
Ghosts aren't make-believe. Then you do have to believe in them.
To see them?
I don't know. I don't know how that works because it seems like they're in a different department. They don't seem like an aspirational thing to believe in.
All right, it's time we have to bring back one of our classic segments. Does God exist in this movie?
World?
Does the Christian God exist in this universe?
So, okay. Well, so Derek just seems kind of agnostic because he makes a couple funny jokes of like, you guys report to Buddha or like whatever. And so he lists a couple gods. God and then a different, so he's playing around with the idea. So it definitely is a thing, but he's kind of loose with it. That doesn't tell us if it can exist because it is in their consciousness, but does he?
There's never the moment in these movies where the person's like, the realities of the universe are different, and the way I'm going to react to it is like the woman who sees Jesus in her toast, and now my life is devoted to the cult of the Tooth Fairy,
Right.
And selling merchandise about the Tooth Fairy, and we have to migrate over to Utah because of the Tooth Fairy.
Exactly. These things don't, like, these kinds of changes would not just kind of like being a nuisance in your life. It would completely shift the way your thinking is and how you act in the world. Becoming the Santa Claus shouldn't just be like a second job you're doing. It should change everything. How you talk to people, how you encourage people, roof etiquette, yelling at strangers when you're not sure who they are and they're wearing a red coat. I don't know. It should radicalize you.
You want me to go watch the Detroit Tigers play baseball? The fucking Tooth Fairy's real, man.
It's real. What else is real? He also it really casually gets told leprechauns and dragons are real now. Where are they? What role do they play here? Do they breathe fire on those who believe? I don't understand.
They're the bankers. They sit on top of the gold.
Oh, okay.
But they lost relevance. Once the world unhooked the dollar from the gold reserve, the world lost its belief in dragons. If they stop believing, no child will ever receive a visit from the Tooth Fairy ever again. They are treating the Tooth Fairy like it's Santa Claus. Who gives a fuck?
Like, they're treating it like it's imagination. And that's what bothers me. It's not imaginary. You guys are actually going in and you're actually putting money there. So you're giving them something to believe in that is real, not something that to believe in just for belief's sake. This isn't imagination. This is reality. You're hoping children keep liking reality? No.
The point of believing in the Tooth Fairy is that it is imaginary.
Yes. That's how you encourage imagination, because it's not real. So you're making it real?
Yeah.
So
The Rock's like, but I think dreams are stupid and useless.
The Rock.
So she sends him home for the night. She's like, get out of here unless you wish to stay for karaoke. And he walks away and he's like, karaoke. Like, karaoke isn't bad enough.
The joke was already made, Rock. The joke was already made.
No,
Just keep fucking going.
I gave the screen a thumbs up as if karaoke wasn't bad enough. All right, but he doesn't have. Oh, so yeah.
No, we need another wrinkle. We need yet another thing that's not going to. It won't have any consequences. Don't worry.
No, this is just nothing leads to anything else, and there is no cause and effect. It's just shit happens.
One traumatized single mom. She doesn't count.
We got to move on to another scene.
Why is Seth MacFarlane in this fucking movie?
Well, so
he doesn't even
my
sing.
Tools. All right, you got to be the Tooth Fairy. You don't have magic. You have tools. Well, my tools are running out. Well, sorry about that. You got to improvise because we don't have it in our budget.
And we never told you have to ration them.
Right. So he's walking around and then Seth MacFarlane, croons, oh, come on over to me.
He could have at least been in the karaoke scene. They completely wasted his appearance.
Be a deleted scene. So he's like, hey, don't you know that I've got some real good shit? And the joke is they're talking about it like it's
I'm
drugs.
Ziggy Stardust. See them with Stardust?
But he does have the funny, the teases the idea that they want you to fail because it's like credit card debt. He says if you miss a payment, then your payments go up, and now they're just going to hook you forever, and they get you. You're an indentured servitude. You're an indentured servant. You're a debt slave. You're like whatever her name is, Artemis in Ready Player One.
Right.
When she gets caught in that
Which
capsule.
is interesting. And then it goes nowhere and isn't true, I guess.
Yeah.
Is he just a guy that never figured out how to believe? So that's what he does now? It just makes it harder for other people who are in here trying to serve their sentence. He's actually prolonging it. He's the reason.
I think that's it. I think that is what's actually going on. Is they're like, you'll get penalized for buying black market supplies that don't even bootleg supplies from Seth MacFarlane that don't even work. So The Rock goes back down to his next mission and he sprays the shit on himself, but instead of turning invisible, his head just gets all CGI-y.
No, instead of getting invisible, he goes see-through. And that's the first thing. And then he's like, I'll fix it. I'll eat this to shrink so you don't have to see me anymore. But it doesn't shrink him. It just grows him in different places.
Gotcha.
Yeah, try to keep up. It's a pretty high thinking move. It's 3 steps ahead of us.
It's a dense text.
I feel dense talking.
So the woman is like freaking out, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm turning stretchy and stuff." She's like, "I'm gonna call 911. There's a monster in front of me," and he's like, "That's okay. I just need the tooth." Okay.
Honestly, that's a fair response. I'm going to call 911. I don't know what's happening, and I'm calling. Either one of us is going through something here. So
Well, she calls 911, and next thing we know, he's in prison. Well, he's in jail. And Ashley Judd comes to bail him out. And she's like, Derek, lately you've
what's
been
going on with you? You had
a
to
little
poop.
distant.
You had to poop earlier, and now you're in jail.
I got to say, after picking you up from jail, I'm a little bit concerned.
I'm just a little bit concerned.
So he's like, here's the deal. What was your name again? Mommy, here's the deal is, I'm going through changes. No. And then he sprays amnesia dust on her and he tries out like 10 different men never know what to say
They
to
don't
women.
know,
'Cause
but
he's
don't
like,
they all wish they had the little poof?
yeah, you're always getting in deep saying the wrong thing. You're a broad, so you wouldn't understand. Nope. That's wrong.
You're pregnant. No shit. No.
And then finally he says the right thing, which is, I'm just afraid of losing you.
I freaked.
And then she like, oh, you
your
won't.
feelings. You're hot as shit. So as long as you're just not the worst, you're the best.
And then the cop who was watching all of this is like, I gotta get me some of that.
gonna have what she's having.
So he's decided, you know what? I'm going to embrace the spirit of the fairy, but I'm doing it my way. Not all tutu and frou-frou, but hockey pads and helmet. Dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
So yeah, goes on his next mission and just he's going in, and this is the scene we were talking about where the dad is coming into the room to put money under the. So no need for Dwayne Johnson here at all. They were
Right.
already doing this, but no.
In fact, give him a summons. This dad does not believe.
Exactly. Why isn't that? Yeah. So The Rock is like, no, I'm just here for the tooth, sir. And the dad's like, oh my God, who are you? And he's like, I'm the tooth fairy. And then it seems like he's
Oh,
going to
you
fly.
mean local famous mid-level hockey star? That's you're in this room because this is a local job. He doesn't travel far. I like that these things are in the neighborhood.
Nobody else is ever alarmed that The Rock is in their child's bedroom. We'll put a pin in
And
that.
now the weirdest montage. I mean, it's not weird. It's just why?
Well, this
What?
is the part in the sports movie where it's like, all right, things
This
are
is a
coming
sports
together.
movie?
Oh, this is a sports movie, of course. But there's a new thread we haven't talked about where Tracy Stephen Merchant, he's jealous that he doesn't have wings, and he says a hilarious 2010 joke where he's like, "It's anti-wing discrimination."
Wow.
Yeah, and The Rock's like, "I'm going to teach you how to fly or whatever." So
I'm going to teach you to use what you do have so that you could do this.
So there's, we're alternating between The Rock playing drums along with the kid playing guitar.
But this is a 3-way people working on themselves. Mm-hmm. Getting better at guitar, getting better at hockey, because have you tried enough? And getting this guy to be a tooth fairy. Wow.
Because what's the kid's name? Fucking Randy. So he's like, he stops. He's like, it's shredding an amazing soul. And then he's like, forget it. I stink. And, Derek, the tooth fairy, is like, son, you won't score if you don't take the shot. And the kid's like, oh yeah? When was the last time you took a shot?
Jeez.
Like literally in his hockey career? So he now explains, I was a first round pick, hotshot scoring prospect of the New Jersey Devils, but got my shoulder hurt, went down to the minors for rehab and then never went back up. And I'm sorry I keep harping on this, but why is this movie not about a man who's like, I worked my ass off in rehab and just couldn't get back up to, I just wasn't the same anymore. Like I encountered an actual hurdle
Right.
out of my control. Instead, he always could have gone back up. He just decided, I don't want to shoot and score goals anymore.
They hint at it. He keeps saying he has a bad wing. They do plenty times throughout the movie suggest that he's worried to use his shoulder that got hurt.
Okay, but it is something he could overcome.
But he didn't believe it, Matt.
Okay.
He needed to
and
believe.
what I'm saying is that message of believe is terrible.
It's bad.
Because most people aren't. His speech about how there's kids all over the world who are good at hockey, he's right.
He's right. Don't believe, kids.
Do not believe. No.
Unless there's $1 under your pillow, don't believe in the tooth fairy. I need to see receipts.
He could have realized, like, I envisioned my life going a certain way, being a star hockey player. Instead, I am a gimmick for a local minor league team, but people love me and I bring joy and happiness to them.
But you do have to suffer these little assholes who are on their way up who are going to treat me like shit.
Okay, yes. And I can embrace the like, well, I can be their mentor, or like I'm a good, like, that's just the way it works. The young guys razz the old guys razz the young guys. and that is okay. My life didn't go the way it was the way I expected, and that is thematically resonant with the other storyline of him coming into this family and now having to be thrust into the role of dad. Mm-hmm. And it is a thing that I myself experienced. When I started dating you had a kid, and there is sort of like tension and sort of growing pains with like
what is my place?
Well,
finding my.
If I wrote the story of my life, it wouldn't have been that I, dated and married somebody who always had a kid. It would be like, well, I have my own biological children, but you come to realize, but I love this kid too. And I have a special relationship with that kid, and it's beautiful in its own way. It is a thing that that is something that you grow into. And so that's like, oh yes, that's neat. These two stories harmonize with each other. And instead, nope, we're not going to do either of them.
And in fact, your relationship with that kid is more special because it had to overcome something that a lot of the same kinds of dynamics don't, which is like real bonding. And I don't know, there's something more special because you had to work for it, and because it's not just like, well, I'm your dad. So there you go.
Yeah, not only had to overcome like the kid skepticism, but maybe overcome
your own.
The Rock being like, I just wanted to date Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
But hey, it turns out I'm totally surprised. I also love these kids.
Right.
And totally independent of my love for their mom.
And I was just going to say something I realized is that he has these things aren't enough for him, or like he can't have that attitude because he seems to need to be loved and to be good at stuff. So every other place except for when he's in Fairyland, he's worried or dejected because he's not like totally scoring and getting the admiration of everybody. Like his scene in the beginning with yes, I'm doing the thing. I'm very good at this thing. And then the boy comes and he makes him feel not good at the thing. And then he's like, yes, I'm a dad. I'm really good at this thing. And then this boy comes and now I'm not good at this thing. And so like there is something similar about hockey and the parenting.
Yeah.
But then you throw in the fucking Tooth Fairyland, and this is not the same person. That person up there would be trying to people please and be the best up there too. He isn't doing that. It doesn't make sense.
Right. It's not a reflection. It only reflects what he's experiencing on Earth in the like, but you have to believe. You have to believe.
Don't use that voice. It makes me uncomfortable.
So now we add in now the Rock's like, you know what? I'm going to start, even though I'm a defenseman and my role on the team, of professional athletes is to play defense and set up others for scoring. I'm going to instead selfishly try to score myself. So now he's training to score.
But he was that. He was brought into the minor leagues to do a different thing.
True. But I mean, they've constructed this team with his role in mind.
But we don't know that he never played this role when the bench wasn't deep. We don't know that. We don't know it.
So Randy's like, you think I could be a real rock star? And Derek's about to give the speech of like, think of how many kids are good at guitar. And he's like, you know what? Sure.
How could it ever be a waste of time if you're doing what you love?
No, that's what he says later. And that's a good message. That's that's the actual thing to say.
Darn it.
So he's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I will start to dream big. But at his next game, he decides to take a shot. He steals from Mick the stick, tries to take a shot, and then freezes and doesn't take
the wrong way,
a
Matt.
shot.
He takes away someone else's dream to live his own. That's not the right way.
Mm-hmm. And the coach yells at him.
It's
and
very
benches
embarrassing.
him. And so later he goes home and
now
Ashley Judd and her kids are waiting for him.
No, when he pulls, so that is a very traumatic thing to happen at work. I thought he was fired. It's super embarrassing. It happened in front of everybody. Also, what time of day are these fucking games? What the fuck? Anyway, but he's going home now, broad daylight, and his girl, they're not cell phones. His girlfriend and the two kids are just in front of his apartment. And now a Derek I've never seen before. He's not like, oh no, I can't pull it together right now. He's like, oh, here we go. Like he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's a fucking dick in his car before he even pulls in. Oh, these fucking people. He has a split personality. And then he's a total dick. It just doesn't this is not the kind of mean he would be if this character made sense.
Because he's like, he pulls up and Randy's like, Derek, I need you to practice with me. There's only one more day for the talent show. And he's like, I can't, I'm sorry. I had a bad day. Now, like, Ashley Judd maybe needs to be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Like my boyfriend doesn't look like himself. This is not his character. So maybe I need to step in here and not.
But I'm not a real character, so
Don't worry, Randy. We'll bring you to father figure, and father figure will do father stuff. I've got the girl.
yeah, I didn't call ahead. I didn't do
Right.
it. Yeah.
He just got out of playing a game. I'll bet he's pretty fucking tired.
Yeah, but Randy's like, but I got it. And he's like, you little shit. It doesn't matter how much you practice. You'll never be a rock star.
And then he slaps him.
This kid, you have to watch this scene. This kid, this actor, I mean, the actor does a good job,
does
but
a good job.
this is from a fucking Noah
different
Baumbach movie or
movie.
something. The kid just like screams
Bawling.
in pain and anguish.
It's very
Legitimate,
believable.
I just takes the guitar and smashes it on the ground, yelling like an animal. And then he's like, "Come on, little sister!" And they go, and he goes and gets in the car. And Ashley Judd is like, "You are never going to speak to my children again." And like, okay, that's reasonable based on what we just saw.
Holy shit!
And then she's like,
"Who is this guy?"
You know what your problem is, Derek?
You're abusive to children.
It's not the child abuse.
No, it's not that.
It's that you can't ask, "What if?" And you never will.
Okay, I don't know if he's never said that, but
If I
fine.
listed his problems, I don't know that I'd put that at the top 10.
He's not a dreamer, and he won't influence my kids' stupid dreams.
The way the kid smashes the guitar and yells again like an animal is like...
You're right, but it did strike me as like really good acting, though.
Right, but that's like every good thing that happens in this movie
Pisses
doesn't
me-
count because it's like, not this movie.
Right. And now that they've had such a traumatic moment, it has manipulated me into just needing relief. So that's how it tricked me into 2.5 stars, because like it's satisfying watching everything go right finally, because it's like this movie's been full of misunderstandings and a guy not fitting in and like being happy with his life, but he loves his life, but it finally started to make a little bit of sense and gel for me. But don't worry, we still have the fucking Tracy part.
Yeah, because
Jesus
Tracy shows up
Christ.
at his house the next thing. He's like, guess what? I got my Tooth Fairy learner's permit. This movie is a child telling you a story that they are making up as they go along, adding new element to new element.
And then there was blood.
I got a Tooth Fairy learner's permit. What does that mean?
No.
It doesn't.
Doesn't.
I
I go with another Tooth
We gotta
Fairy.
go.
We do it together. He has a wheel.
So we're at another hockey game, just tons of hockey games, even though I
doesn't get
think
a
this
break.
is the next night.
It is
And
the next night.
It's the second night of a back-to-back. And the coach, they lose a player, so the coach decides to put Derek in as an injury
After a
replacement.
big fucking fuck up the way I can't even believe he's not in just regular clothes on the bench.
Yeah, they
There was
dressed him. Yeah.
there was no repercussion. I guess it was selling seats. What?
So he goes out there, and the announcer's like, I don't know, Dan. It looks to me like the Tooth Fairy's just going through the motions. But then the Tooth Fairy looks over at the goal, at the net, and Tracy is sitting on it and gives him a thumbs up.
And
a
this was
definitive.
after Tracy said maybe you
thumbs
should
up.
try more than once.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is him
okay.
encouraging him. It is nice. Tracy, that was nice of you, Tracy.
Yep. And suddenly Derek's like, okay. And he starts skating. And the announcers are immediately like, wait a minute.
Ow.
He's going really fast. Incredible. I haven't seen him skate with this kind of purpose since his rookie year with the New Jersey Devils. What a great day for hockey. And like, again, this is what's annoys. He had it in him all along. He's just like, wasn't motivated. Because this movie is a movie that's telling you like, get off your ass and, try harder, pussy. And so then
Or be mediocre and think you're going to be really good, guys.
fucking
Do that.
scores the goal. And the crowd goes nuts.
Okay, and here's another incongruent fucking thing. Now Tracy comes out on the Zamboni with a giant blaster of amnesia stuff, and he makes the joke, good luck finding your cars. Okay, so you've just given them so much of this dust that they don't even know why they're at the fucking game, and that's okay? How are you just getting your learner's permit and you're doing this? And he got in trouble for fucking with a family. And how is that not traumatized the human population?
And crucially,
What?
but we didn't mention the most important thing.
What?
Derek, he now believes.
Okay.
And now he can.
Oh, right. He went through the ceiling.
That's why he then has to get on the Zamboni and do the amnesia.
It's like, okay, so like he finally reveals himself to this whole stadium and he's like, I'm okay with being the Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairies are real, which by the way would create a lot of belief, which would really make the money go up in Tooth Fairyland. But no, now we got to give everyone amnesia because that's not the way it works. Why?
It's the imagination thing. You
But it's real, Matt.
got to believe in a real thing, but for bad reasons. That's what it is. There you go.
All right.
You gotta
it's just selling your religion. Fine.
So, all right. The final mission is that Tess, Ashley Judd's daughter, has lost a tooth. She's lost 3 teeth in 4 days.
Just 2.
And
this girl's falling apart.
jeez. And he has to do it. And this is so okay. So he has just left. This is the end of the game, and it's a packed house. Let's call this around 9 o'clock.
It's not the end of the game. He just scores one thing, and he has to choose between the game and this, and he chooses this.
Didn't they say we're tied in the end of the third
No,
period?
that's why they were upset. He's talking to himself. He's acting a fool now. So what they just give amnesia dust. They won't even be able to find their cars, Matt. But now do they forget the amazing shot he just did
to
rehabilitate his career?
Yeah, no, his career's.
What the fuck?
So, okay, well, whatever. He leaves the hockey game, goes to Ashley Judd's house, sneaks in. Everyone's asleep.
Everyone. They're all heartbroken and asleep.
And he goes into Tess's room.
The boy is not asleep. He's tapping his hand to the music.
That's true. He's
just
looks
sad.
like he's asleep, but he just has his eyes closed because he's listening to Moby. And goes into Tess's room and wakes her up. And he's like, hey, Tess.
Look, I really am the tooth fairy.
I know that your mother said, do not ever speak to my children again.
I'm in your room now.
But I'm in your bedroom.
And this is our secret.
What are you going to do? I've got a secret for you. I'm the tooth fairy. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. We're going to give everyone else amnesia, including me, at the end of this movie. But you will still remember this and still think I'm the tooth fairy. And then I'm going to gaslight you for the rest of your fucking life.
37 years old. You're in therapy with all of us.
What?
I saw you be the tooth fairy.
What is happening? And they will lock her up because no one else remembers this and it's crazy sounding.
So then he goes into Randy's room and Randy's like, go away.
Yeah.
And he's like, Randy,
what are you wearing?
you got to keep playing guitar because you're really good and nothing you love that much can ever be a waste of time. I am so sorry. But again,
even if I wanted
this
to.
movie has not been building out the case that like the important thing is just to do something you love because you love it, because it makes you feel good for its own sake. It's not like he's like, well, I learned to love being the tooth fairy or being a goon or loving hockey.
I'm the Rock. I'm destined to succeed. So of course I'm going to go get my dream. Of course I'm going to go back to the big leagues. You could just be in a garage band though. That would be neat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You and that blonde kid that will never
neat.
get into hockey.
Playing music is the most fun thing to do.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
That's not where I'm going with this. I'm just saying it's funny. The Derek character can't picture the mediocre life for himself. He still needs to be like, do a try and to try and get results.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
You know what? He's just like the fucking tooth fairy industry. He needs to believe, but he needs to believe in the thing that's already true. Like, so, you see what I'm saying? Like,
no, that's what I was trying to say. Like, you can, you need to believe in yourself playing guitar because you will be a rock star. Believe that you will be in love with the music because you will, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't fucking, I've tied myself into knots.
We are struggling.
It's a bloated episode because it has crushed my love of movies.
So Randy then says, even if I wanted to, I can't. I busted my guitar.
Yes, you did.
And I can't go to the talent show. And then you, the viewer, are like, I'm sorry, the talent show is right now?
It's right now while everyone's asleep?
I thought it was 1:30 in the morning. Why is everybody asleep? And he's like, no, here, alakazam. And now, because he believes, he produces a Fender Strat. And he's like, here you go, bud. Let's put some clothes on. We can still make the talent show. All right, now this is the most indignant moment for Ashley Judd. Yes. Ashley Judd wakes up and she's like, Dwayne Johnson, what the fuck?
Did you dress like a tooth fairy to make up for...
And then she says, aw, you rented a fairy costume to make it up to Tess. Aw.
And now you're with my kids and you're in my house.
I told you to never speak to my children again. We are broken up. And instead you snuck into our house in the middle of the night.
Spoke to both of my children before me. And now we're going to the talent show without you explaining why or how you got that fucking guitar.
Yeah, this isn't a horror movie. This is, yeah. Jason Voorhees, what are you doing in my house? All right. Well, he flies Randy to the school.
Which is nice. This is a sweet moment. But then he gives him amnesia again. To what point? Where does it... Do you know that Derek brought you to this talent show? Do you know that he got you the guitar you're playing?
You are way more worried about the amnesia logistics than I am.
But then The Rock comes down from heaven with amnesia too and remembers parts of what happened, but not why. He knows he's been on this ride with this family, but doesn't understand what like got him the good results. So he just thinks being him is cool.
Yeah, he won't know what to do in the future.
He
that
has
works.
no skills now. He got himself into the pros while being driven like a John Malkovich through and then he wakes up and he's just him and he's like, well, now I'm married.
John Malkovich and what?
Being John Malkovich. I'm saying that John Cusack is in his head, driving him around, whatever the fuck that movie's about.
No, that's it.
You know what I mean?
Flies him to this. Well, maybe Tracy continues to be his case officer, comes down, gives him advice, and then amnesias him. But like in a way he can remember.
Right. Cool.
Writes him instructions.
He just thinks he's got good thoughts sometimes. They just come to him. You don't even have to try. I don't need therapy. Every now and then, I just get a really good thought. And it feels 6'8" tall, weirdly.
All right, so he drops Randy off, and a teacher immediately comes out and he's like,
We've been
Randy,
looking for you.
The crowd's hot for you. And they're like, Randy.
They're ready for Randy.
They are. And, you know, they're fucking, it's Cheap Trick at Budokan. They're also amped to see this little twerp.
Everybody's not amped to get the fuck out of there because they just went out of obligation. Everyone's been mediocre. It's a kids' talent show. No. We held them up. We've been looking for Randy. If he's on the list, he's on the list.
Because we got to see a little 11-year-old go out and go. Wait, hold on.
And then the other guys.
I don't remember what he plays.
It's Smoke on the Water?
Yeah, it's Smoke on the Water.
Yeah.
Now we're up in heaven again.
Right.
Derek is talking to Julie Andrews and she's like, now I know that you believe in the power of dreams and wishes. You are hereby relieved of tooth fairy duty.
Do you want to do the honors or shall I? Do the honors.
But, you know, we're going to erase your memory. And he's like, what? And they're like, yeah. So
It is sweet that they're like, well, maybe we could just email. That's what I was thinking. Maybe we could just email. I thought that was a nice moment with him and Tracy.
So nobody who serves as a tooth fairy ever actually remembers
it. They just serve their indentured servitude. Isn't there some kind of thought experiment with that? Shit, there's something about going to jail, and if you there's something where your family members don't have to live through you being there, but you do. What is that
there's
from?
an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine that you're thinking of that you have not seen, but I told you about.
Okay, I was like, wait. Someone has to suffer through this, but
where you get sent. I don't remember which character it was. Was it O'Brien, Colmini? I don't remember. I haven't watched Deep Space Nine. Just Patrick made me watch this episode. And it was good. But yeah, you serve in a mind prison where you 1 second of time passes in the real world, but for you, in your head, you are literally experiencing 20 years.
Yes. So you come back out traumatized, but you did not inconvenience or ruin anyone else's life.
Now they just have to deal with a traumatized father. Right. Who doesn't remember how to feel.
They don't understand and can't relate because it's an invisible pain that doesn't
Dad
make sense.
used to be cool.
Why do you seem 20 years older?
So he goes back down to Earth. He's at the talent show. He's with Ashley Judd. He's with the girl. They're all watching the kid up on stage shredding the act. And again, the crowd is like taking off, they're showing their tits and stuff. Yeah, Randy. And
no vocals. We love that.
And then vocals. 3 strange kids come up on stage and join him on the other instruments.
They were playing right before he got on. And they're like, oh, what? This kid? We thought he was a loser. Now he can be part of our band. We don't have a singer either.
We know how to play what he's playing. We didn't ask him if we could come up, but
Why would you ask? Matt, you're so weird about musicianship.
Well, what?
If someone comes on stage when I'm doing my riff.
Because he practiced by himself. He only knows how to do one thing.
Yeah, and it got boring.
All right. So now the place is fucking rocking out, and The Rock proposes to Ashley Judd, and she says yes. And now it's the end
buying
credits.
it. I'm happy. I'm happy it's over. I'm happy at like the vein that's popping out of Ashley Judd's head. She's so happy. He's so happy, though he doesn't understand half of his life.
So now it's the closing credits, but nope, you get additional footage. Derek, he got called up to the show. He's playing for the LA Kings.
Don't just be happy with this beautiful family who's starting off on the best possible footing ever. Money, love, beauty. Don't worry. He's
Guys,
also
we have to move to Los Angeles.
a hockey player again.
They're like, but we want to stay in Lansing.
This kid's going to get traumatized. He just finally made a friend of band members here.
And that
fucking
girl at
it up.
Guitar Center who likes him, yeah,
There's
he's
that.
fucked up everything for these people. But yeah, he's now in the NHL. Again, he's no longer a shitty defenseman. He's starting at wing for the LA Kings. And we see in the crowd, Julie Andrews and Billy Crystal are in attendance, and Billy Crystal shrinks himself down so he can fly around on the puck and be annoying.
I was already having to forgive it for needing this, because you're telling me that it is your business model to bring in reluctant people to serve as a tooth fairy until they believe, and you don't release them until they do. Those heartwarming moments must happen so often, in fact, that you call it doing the honors whenever you have to give that person amnesia. It happens all the time. You're telling me this guy, this evolution was so fucking touching that you now need to leave heaven and come. I miss him.
He's that important.
You miss him? He assaulted you. You said you don't like touch. He kissed you. Julie, you have a fucked up relationship with your body, I think, in your boundaries.
She needs to lean in.
He is hot though, but that could have been cute. I'm having dinner with the boss. That's cute. Billy Crystal's doing his thing. That's cute. Until the puck. Why are you on the puck? We don't need that. We don't need Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. How did you get there? How did you get on the puck? It's all so fucking stupid.
Billy Crystal's got to do something.
He did it. That's what I'm saying. This movie, just fucking edit, man. Have an idea. 1 or 3 even. Not 7 that are all weak and shit and don't go together. And then just add some woo, flippity flu at the end. Now I'm a kid's movie. A dog dunking a basket. A kid playing for the Angels. A man on a puck.
You get to win.
Fuck you.
If you want it and you dream big, you can win everything. The talent show.
Billy
being the Tooth
Crystal.
Fairy. You get to make it to the NHL.
Marry Ashley Judd.
I believe the LA Kings won the Stanley Cup in 2012.
Don't, Matt.
So he's going to be part of that championship run.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care.
What?
This man only responds if he's going to get the very best result. I think he's a baby. Big fat baby. Baby. I'm giving it a 1.5. I'm changing my rating.
I change my rating all the time.
All right, I feel better about that.
So Lacey gave this 2.5 stars on Letterboxd, and she said in her review.
Can I read it in my own words?
Okay, fine.
Oh no, sorry. You had you liked it, so go ahead. If you already had
my favorite thing she has said in a movie review since my favorite thing I've ever read in a movie review, which is at the end of her Letterboxd review, she said, "I'm moving on."
I was jilted. I was dejected. I was tired.
Because I knew what she meant, but also it's you sound like a coach at a press conference. We're going to review the tape, but we're focused on Cincinnati.
Putting this behind us. I know we've got more stuff to watch. Moving on.
That was my favorite thing you have said since in my best friend's wedding episode when I was like, "You think they still had sex?" You said, "It's none of our business." You're right. No. When you think about it, nothing in movies is our business.
It isn't.
We shouldn't be asking.
If it's not on the page, it's not in your brain.
Do you want to go first or?
I just 1.5. Talking about it was torture, and I wasn't even sure what wasn't working except for that it wasn't, and that's more frustrating than knowing what is not, because I won't even know how to fix it. This movie does not need to exist. It doesn't understand what it is. It doesn't understand a kid's movie. It doesn't understand an adult movie. It's not abridged anything. It's not repurposing old stars and be like, oh, they're not using the star they have. They're shrinking the one that they've got when he's known for being big. What the fuck?
It's not a good kids movie.
It's not a good kids movie. It's too sad.
There's not enough. But
not enough kids.
Kids movies can have sadness.
No, right.
There's not enough running from the cat when you're teeny tiny.
Yes.
Or Rock being in a tutu. There's not enough of that stuff.
You think they're going to lean in on the silliness because it's so silly in the beginning, so silly that it's annoying. And then it's maybe they shot this movie in order and they watched him do his physical comedy. No, hard no. We're still going to keep that, but we're going to do some other things now. A lot of montage, a lot of emotions, a lot of diarrhea talk.
So you didn't like it?
I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it. I still like The Rock. I did not come out. That's what's interesting to me. I know I shouldn't hate actors based on their performances as people, but because he is this like wrestling person who you think you know, even though this is still a character, there's something about wrestling that it's like, no, this is a person I'm getting to know. And I know he's having a hard time over here. He's doing what he wants, right? He's doing what he thinks he wants. And he's like getting this mid response and this kind of bad goodbye while hitting this rough patch of like, okay, this wasn't the move. I'm doing bad in both places. It doesn't feel good. So if this did good in the box office, I'm rooting for you, Rock. I'm rooting for you, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. I'm still with you. I'm still going to ride.
Yeah, my ire is not for him. He was set up to fail here. Again, even Ashley Judd and Julie Andrews, all-time great actors, are not able to do anything in this movie because it is directed by an incompetent boob. I think this might be the worst movie we've ever covered. I don't know what the other contenders are.
I can't think of them either.
But this is just...
Howard the Duck. But at least that one.
Sorry, Smash Trivia John. No, I like Howard the Duck more than you. This is both incompetent and I think it is...
ill-conceived.
Odious. I think its message is well, its message is not thought out at all. It's
so unthought
pablum.
of that it gives it a bad one on accident. I think that it's a bad message and they didn't even mean to do it.
And it's not like that's gonna harm kids. It's it's
fucking. It's blurry.
It's just dumb. It's not interesting.
It's not even consistent in the movie. Your messaging. You don't even understand what you're trying to say. You think that a kids movie needs a moral, so you fucking just shoved one in there and it's not even doing it right.
But it is the kind of message where you think about it and you're like, so I guess what it is saying is if something bad happens to you, it's your fault because you didn't work hard enough. Because that is ultimately what happens in the movie.
Right. All right.
But that's...
What's your star rating?
1 star. And that is mainly just for the one scene where he tells the kid, like, all right, thanks, Gabe. But, he has this low, at least in our opinion. And the next year he comes back with one of his best movies, Fast 5.
And this is the 5th movie in the
Yes.
Okay.
This is kind of when the Fast series evolves into being like super big budget, globe spanning.
Should we watch the first one or the 4th one to get ready for it?
Nah. Well, I mean,
I watched the latest one and I didn't see hardly any of the other ones. I've seen the first one a couple times.
And you have seen this one because this is the best one in the series.
Is the guy still alive in here?
Yeah.
The actor?
Yeah. And
Paul Walker?
Paul Walker. And The Rock joins as an adversary. He's the bad guy of the movie.
When does Paul Walker die?
2013. He has 2 more movies after this.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I just don't want to step in on the this is the sad goodbye one.
And this was a case where The Rock made the Fast series bigger and the Fast series made him bigger.
Yeah.
And it eventually got poisoned. But for about 3 movies, it was doing real well for both sides.
Do you know how weird Vin Diesel is?
Yes.
He's
very
He's
an
weird.
Interesting person to compare to The Rock, too.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Because you think there's not room for 2 bald guys. There are. They are very different people.
Caleb Hogan will be joining us for that episode.
Yay, Caleb. I owe him an apology for shitting on Neighborhood Friends.
Yes, you do.
Although I made it clear that I wasn't talking about him.
This whole series kind of started with him saying that Baywatch failed because of The Rock. I was like, wait, say that again.
Oh.
Tell a friend about our show. Tell a friend about our show. Tell them to go check out Load Bearing Beams Pod on YouTube. Tell them to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/loadbearingbeams for Load Bearing Beams Collector's Edition. And I have a spin-off podcast that comes out once a month about the Twilight Zone. It's called The Signpost Up Ahead.
It's quite the spin.
I am on Letterboxd at MattStokes9. Lacey is on Letterboxd at LoadBearingLacey. My band is named Rural Route 9. If we worked harder, we would have been bigger.
And if you could smell what I am, love you, goodbye.
3, 4. Everybody, love bearing beams, 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 Spider-Man, love bearing beams, love bearing
bear.